Did you guys ever hear of a band called Blackbird Rom?
No.
No.
Man, they're so good. Sorry.
Okay.
There you have it.
All right. All right.
Hey, round 2. Let's do it.
So yeah, here it is. So this is Cheers to part 2. Yep. And here.
Part 2.
We would love to still be endorsing Bullet Bourbon Frontier Whiskey at this point, but since they haven't sponsored us yet, we only have one bottle. It's done.
It was so delicious.
We're
It was
on
gone.
to
However,
Heaven Hill Old Style Bourbon.
which is
And
also
if
delicious.
you're interested in sponsoring us, we'll take that sponsorship as well.
Yeah.
We'll send you an email.
Yeah, we'll send
This week.
Jared will have that out to you.
Yeah, I think that Heaven Hill for the price is one of the finest whiskeys that there is, because the handle itself is only $16.
And we just
Pretty
shot
smooth.
that straight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
totally fine.
And no one's like,
Yeah,
no
no
one
one's
looks
like,
like,
"Oh,
they're
God." Yeah,
struggling.
no,
No, I don't dislike that,
Yeah.
even a little bit.
Yeah.
Agreed.
For the good folks at at Bullet Bourbon, we may need to edit out this commentary on Heaven Hill,
No.
by the way.
Well, we're not saying that you should buy one or the other. We're just saying they're both delicious.
They're both great.
and they also operate at different price ranges. So whatever your price
But
range
if you
happens
do
to be.
endorse us, we will talk smack on the other one.
Absolutely.
So
yeah. So
Put
It
it out
just
there.
depends on the length and curliness of your mustache, which one you prefer.
yeah, that's absolutely true. Yeah.
Yeah.
How big your trust fund is, and you're still living in Lawrenceville,
Right.
with your curly mustache.
damn,
Yeah.
you got specific.
Yeah.
Wow.
Damn.
Shots fired.
Yeah. Sorry.
So
Anyways.
So this is the drunk podcast, by the way.
Right.
So everyone who didn't say which one they would like,
The drunker.
this is the Drunker
Yeah, this is-
podcast.
this is a starting drunk.
This
And-
is what we would normally title as episode 5, part 2, but we are willing to say this is episode 6, the Drunker podcast.
parentheses drunk.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Here, before the theme song, let's just get one of these. And kick it in.
It's just gonna be Dan clicking.
Buckle up, buckaroo.
And there it is.
Boom. Hey, who watched the X-Men Apocalypse trailer today before we get started?
I didn't see it. We
I
should have
did.
watched it when we were taking our break.
I watched it 3 times.
Yeah, I watched it twice.
Fuck.
Did it just come out today?
Yeah, today.
No,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Neither.
We can just pause
Let's
right now.
pause.
and just-
We're gonna pause.
Yeah, we
and we're
can't
gonna let.
stop and start whenever
stop
we
whenever
want.
we
yeah,
want.
this,
Okay,
is,
let's
this
do
is
it.
an edit,
Go ahead.
Yeah.
and
It just keeps rolling, but I just
we're gonna
I'll just
watch
cut
it.
Yeah, we're gonna watch this real fast.
Right back.
What the fuck, man? Holy
Look at this shit.
Oh!
Bam!
Fuck!
Yeah.
Lose that hair. How
Sorry,
do you just
Patrick
lose his hair
Stewart.
like that?
Now we have Xavier again.
Yeah.
Yeah. He looks like Xavier.
That was awesome.
Wow.
How did you
Yeah.
lose his hair like that though?
How did he...
I don't know.
Fuck, man.
I'd shave my
Yeah.
head for that much.
Whatever. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, to be an
do
X-Men
it once a
apocalypse.
week.
Oh, man.
That trailer. Whew, intense.
So we just watched the trailer to X-Men Apocalypse.
Yeah.
So
She fucking Jubilee for a second. That's
Yeah.
a ballsy move because she's kind of a ridiculous character, like in
She
real
is
life.
yeah, she's
Yeah.
a ridiculous
She wears a yellow fucking raincoat or
Yeah.
something.
Stupid fucking name.
Yeah.
yeah. But you know what? Kudos to them, because I, as a '90s X-Men fan,
Oh,
I
yeah.
fucking want to see Jubilee.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm okay
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah, I'm totally fine with that.
Yeah, she was a pretty prominent character in the cartoon.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
she's the because
Oh,
it's
yeah.
aimed towards kids. She's like she's the audience perspective.
Yeah.
Mhm.
She's the one who's like, oh, I'm a teenager and like I have mutant powers. I didn't know that. And like, but because you can't, as a kid, you can't really relate to any of the other X-Men. You know.
Yeah, it's a storm.
No
of
one,
Cyclops.
no one has been alive forever like Wolverine. No one can fucking control the elements like Storm.
Also, Halle Berry was not Storm in that.
Yeah.
I know.
I know. Yeah.
And that was 90s like
Fuck
comic
yeah.
Storm.
It with the mohawk.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uncanny
Not
X-Men
Brohawk
201.
fucking
Yeah.
bullshit.
Yeah, no Brohawk.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was pretty cool.
I used to think like with Jubilee with the gloves. You know?
No, that's no Rogue.
That's Rogue. Yeah.
So Rogue.
Yeah,
Rogue,
because she can't touch.
Doesn't Jubilee wear
people.
gloves too, though? Doesn't she?
I think she does
does
wear
she? Sometimes.
like yellow gloves.
Yeah.
I'm not
But
sure-
for
her
no
powers aren't
particular
affected by her.
reason. Yeah,
she
it's
just likes wearing
just for
gloves.
the hell of it.
Maybe I'm misremembering my childhood, but I thought it was Jubilee with the gloves.
No,
I mean,
Rogue-
perhaps it was Rogue.
No,
But
Rogue has to
regardless-
take them off to take people's powers.
Right. But for some reason, anyway, because we were talking about like relatability and like audience perspective,
Right.
and I thought that I just remember thinking about like eating a sandwich with gloves on. And, like, how fucking annoying that would be. Like having to eat a sandwich, like trying to eat a sandwich with gloves.
That's Great
that actually
perspective.
would be
Yeah.
really
Yeah,
annoying. Yeah,
it's
because
super annoying.
you wouldn't be able to feel like which part of the gloves have mayonnaise on them. So you might touch something else
Yeah.
and get the mayonnaise on something else you're
Yeah.
into.
Total shit.
Oh, shit. It's like I used to assume there's mayonnaise on this sandwich.
Because let's be honest, any good sandwich doesn't necessarily have mayonnaise on it, but has some kind of sauce on it.
Okay,
You
yeah.
can't have a
Okay.
sandwich that doesn't have
A
sauce.
dry sandwich.
Yeah, a dry sandwich.
Garbage.
Nobody wants that.
That's like a dry salad.
Yeah.
I'm suspect of
Anyone
who's eating a dry sandwich.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
You're
yeah.
on some spectrum.
Yeah. So maybe I should have said mayonnaise. I should have said some like whatever sauce is on the sandwich. Like,
Yeah.
Condiment.
Yeah.
condiment.
There
There's
you
gonna
go.
be some on the sandwich.
Yeah.
Did everybody enjoy that trailer?
Fuck
Yeah,
yes.
I did.
Okay.
I enjoyed it actually because I watched. We just said like I've watched it multiple times today, and I probably enjoyed it. Well, first of all because we all watched it together. Which is,
That was
that's a
kind of
different.
fun.
Yeah, it's a different
Yeah.
thing. Like it's better to. For those of you out there who don't watch things with your friends or your other people, like you.
Just watch them
you
alone
need to-
on your phone.
Yeah, don't watch it alone on
like
your
a
phone.
turd.
Yeah, like an asshole.
bastard.
Watch it.
Like a stick in the mud.
Watch it like what maybe okay if you need to watch it by yourself in the dark room the first time once by yourself, go ahead and do that. But next time, make sure there's somebody else in the room with you, just like to appreciate it with you. And yeah,
If
it's
not,
so much more fun.
come down with us. We'll watch
Yeah,
it with you.
we'll
You can
watch
come
it
down
with
and watch
you.
it with us.
We got
Absolutely.
TV on the wall.
swing
We
by.
can swing
There's a
it.
TV on the
Put
wall,
it
yeah.
up.
Like whoever's working right now, like it'd be it Dan or Jordan or Tim or whoever. They
Nate.
will gladly or Nate, yeah, or will gladly watch whatever
Trailer
new
with you.
trailer with you that you want, and you can both flip out on it. It'll be fun.
You know, one thing that bothered me about my experience today after the trailer.
Yeah.
All the negativity online.
Yeah. Well, it's the internet. So.
What the fuck? Like, let it go, people.
There's so many people that there's just so many people there on the internet that have nothing better to do than to
troll.
What were people
not
saying?
necessarily troll, but just be negative. You know?
Well, look, why? What was so terrible? But I saw things like Apocalypse still looks stupid. They clearly made some changes to
They
him.
definitely did. They listened to what we were saying because before he did look like Ivan Ooze.
He did.
He was purple. He didn't have the
The lines
mouth
on his face
lines or whatever.
Yeah, cheeks.
He looks way better now. That actually, I'm way better. I'm so totally okay with.
He looked
his-
great.
Yeah, he looks really cool.
He looked great.
Yeah.
I saw Apocalypse still looks dumb. His voice is dumb. I saw the choreography looks stupid. Like,
Well, there's always gonna be people who either like serious or in jest are gonna just be negative about shit. Fuck them.
I'm
Whatever.
so sick of it. Like, I just don't even want to be on the internet anymore because of people like that.
I don't want to live on this planet anymore.
God.
No, there's always gonna be people
Like,
that.
fuck. Like, okay. Like, we're all the same age about.
Yeah.
Okay, we watched Apocalypse on the cartoon in the 90s get
Right.
really big and smash people. He does it in the fucking trailer.
He does that in the trailer.
Yeah.
Like,
that was
that-
fucking cool.
Like, I'm sold. Like,
Yeah.
that's it. I'm in.
Yeah. I get the people who said like his voice is stupid. Like but there's no way you can have someone.
Apocalypse. It doesn't translate well.
It's a cartoon. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
cartoon. Like
Exactly.
he does have great lines in the cartoon. Like the one that sticks in my mind that I've actually searched for on the internet since they announced that he's going to be the bad guy, was he's like, I am the rocks of the eternal shore. Crash against me and be broken. That's a fucking amazing line. But this is not the character that they're trying to portray. Like I get it. It's a movie. Someone like a regular human being saying some shit like that. You're like, dude, really? That it wouldn't come across the same way. Like on a cartoon, you can like amplify his voice and make it deeper and like have him sound really intimidating. And as he's like growing into this massive,
he's like
unstoppable force. Yeah, I get it. You can't do that, and I'm not that upset. I mean, I do want Apocalypse kind of talk like that, but
I think he's gonna have some great lines.
Yeah. He has to talk like a human though, like or else it's not relatable to the audience.
Right. If he sounds like a weirdo, like robot, like robot, like mutant type character, it's gonna sound dumb. Like, remember Bane in The Dark Knight, whatever third movie that was.
Dark Knight again, yeah.
Yeah, like he sounded terrible because they tried to make him more than a human.
Yeah.
Like, no.
I mean, it's a funny voice to imitate.
Yes.
But it's not, doesn't really, it's like if you imitate the Joker from The Dark Knight, you can do that and still sound like crazy.
Oh, yeah.
When you imitate Bane, it's mostly a joke. It's like,
oh, Batman, I was born in darkness. You've adopted it,
or whatever the fuck he says. Like
Gotham City.
It's like scary in the same way that Mike Tyson's scary because you want to start laughing, but it's like this motherfucker would knock me out. You know, like it's like,
yeah,
I might eat your babies. You just want to laugh at him, but you're like, all right, fair enough, man.
Please don't eat my babies, even though I really want to laugh at your voice.
But I think you might if I provoke you enough.
Because
I don't doubt it.
Somehow, like Mike Tyson has such a strange voice because it sounds ridiculous, and you're right. You do want to first laugh, but then you don't laugh because he sounds stupid, but he might be too stupid to understand things like lawfulness or morality. So,
well, clearly,
and he's like 200, whatever it was, 225 pounds or something like that, of just pure type 2 muscle. Generates force at a capacity unfathomable by anyone, like within a 10-mile radius of here, at least.
He's also trained to focus that force in very particular ways.
Yeah.
He might as well be like a tractor. Like, he's fucking really good at one thing, and that's hurting people and petting tigers or beating them up or whatever.
And Mike, like even before training, wasn't he? He was the one who, like, he would like mug old ladies in elevators and stuff.
Well, and also he got divorced from Robin. I forget her last name. But like there was spousal abuse problems. And
stuff. I think that was after he became like
he was famous.
Yeah, he was famous
for sure.
But when he was young, his thing was that old Italian dude found him, and it was kind of like the Rocky story. It was just this fucked up kid who like his mom died, and then this like trainer, I think he was Italian, whatever, and kind of brought him up and turned it into like a Rocky Balboa story.
Yeah.
But he was like a fucked up, like a just a jackass kid.
However, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but he is like co-starring in Ip Man 3.
Shut up.
Yeah, with Donnie Yen.
Oh,
yeah,
dude.
Yeah, with Mike Tyson as whatever other character.
Mike Tyson as Mike Tyson.
They're not even. They make no effort to hide the face tattoos or anything.
Oh,
Mike Tyson is in this movie.
Dude, yeah, this is good to watch.
I saw a still from it, and it was just him like punching a speed bag, and I mean it looked like a legit movie. I don't know. So maybe and I'm not saying this makes Mike Tyson a better person or anything, but I might watch that movie.
Shit, yeah, I'll watch it.
It's probably going to be direct to Netflix, but I will probably watch it because I'm curious to see Mike Tyson in a major acting role, because he's been in movies, but like he's never like one of the focal characters, and it's interesting.
He's usually playing himself too.
Right? Yeah. He's actually acting. I don't know how that's going to work out at all. So I'm really curious to know.
As long as he doesn't have any speaking roles, probably good.
What if he's really good? What if he's really good?
He might be really good.
He might be really good.
I mean, people who have like raw, like their emotions are like raw nerves. that's kind of what acting is. So maybe Mike Tyson's gonna be fucking fantastic. I don't know.
Be like the next Marlon Brando or something.
That would be so crazy.
Dude, he just plays this like this wide spectrum of roles. You know?
Yeah. That. Oh man. Yeah. That's that. Oh.
Where like eventually he's like in the next Passion of Christ where he's playing Jesus.
Oh my God.
Wow.
He's
Yeah.
developed into like such an
With
The
the
face
tattoo.
tattoo.
yeah,
I'm
with the face
thinking-
tattoo, but no one notices.
Yeah.
Like,
'Cause he's
he's
just
just
that
so good.
He's
It's like
so-
watching. It's like watching There Will Be Blood. You're like, I don't care what this movie's about. I just can't stop watching Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah.
He's such a good actor.
And the physicality, like Stacy Keach has the hair lip, but you don't notice it all the
Yeah.
time because he's a good actor. So
Yeah.
it's, you know,
Right.
I think about second careers also where like you say, like maybe he'll 10, 15 years from now, he may be more well known for his acting than his fighting. Think about Ronald Reagan. People remember him for his presidency. They don't know that he had an acting career before that because they just kind of forget because he was president. That's pretty prominent, you know?
Or if they did know, if they do know, like I knew he was an actor, but like I couldn't name you one goddamn thing that he was on.
Something with a
Well,
goofy.
He
yeah.
probably sucked at acting just like he sucked at being president.
Fair enough.
Can I just go ahead and remember, reference Back to the Future whenever Marty says to Doc, like Ronald Reagan's like, the actor?
Yep.
yeah.
Who's vice president? Jerry Lewis?
Yeah. Oh, fuck.
So do we need to
Yeah,
address
let's-
anything else in shop talk that you think will be pertinent at that point?
X-Men was shot.
All right, one
Yeah.
quick second shout out then from me for Game the Halls, Pittsburgh Retro Gaming, January 10th. Bunch of good guys.
Sunday.
Doing it at Victory Point Sunday, 11:13 to 15 on East Carson Street. I saw it was $15 admission at a brick and mortar, $16 online, $20 at the door.
Oh.
It's going to be from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Bunch of contests. Entry will get you admission or get you entered into raffles for things like a N64,
That's cool.
a bunch of different cool shit all day long. You can nerd out, have some healthy or unhealthy contests between you and your fellow nerds.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
there's
My friends and I in high school we played Bond to 1,000.
Wow.
Yes, it took all day.
yeah.
all night.
Yeah, that would.
And I actually went to work in between and had to fill in, and he blew my lead, and I still have not forgiven him for it to this day because it was like the ultimate point of pride, that game.
Well, you should have called off work. That's your fault.
I couldn't get anyone to cover for me. I couldn't, and the job was too good.
Teenager.
I was, but I was really, really pissed off because I had a lead,
Yeah,
and I came back and I was in 4th place. And I was like, "How can you fucking suck that bad? I told you,
Yeah, holy
just sit in
shit.
this one fucking area and don't move and camp. And god damn it,
Wait, what game? What game is this?
Bond,
Bond.
Goldeneye.
Oh, Goldeneye.
Goldeneye.
Oh,
Yeah.
Goldeneye.
2000,
Oh man. Oh.
License to Kill, so it's one shot.
Well, that's the only way you play
Yeah.
Goldeneye. Okay, for those of you who are listening and you're not familiar, well, you are or are not familiar with Goldeneye 007, the only ways to play that game on multiplayer are, first of all, License to Kill.
No odd job.
One shot. I'm getting there. One shot kills. That's how you decide who's the best.
Yep.
That's how you decide
Secondarily,
who's the best.
You can only use
There can only be one.
pistols,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
automatics.
We use
If you want to get real crazy, maybe power weapons, because the RCP 90 is it's a little too much. Yeah, I mean finding is an issue, so it's still allowable. Anything else is chaos. It's unacceptable chaos. And there is, of course, no odd job, or I believe Moonraker number 2, because Moonraker number 2 is the shorter. She's the lady.
A little bit
Moonraker.
shorter.
She's shorter than everybody else.
And you don't
She's
want
the
to play
same
as
size
Jaws either, because then you're just a
Well,
giant target.
I mean, you can play as Jaws if you want. Actually, if you're really arrogant and you're good, go ahead and play as
you're
Jaws.
dumb shit.
Yeah,
Play as
that's
Jaws.
actually kind of badass. If you choose Jaws, I'm like
And
that's a
win.
bold move.
and win.
Yeah, if you can win as Jaws, then everyone else should be embarrassed.
Yeah.
So Goldeneye, I don't know. For me, one of the greatest tests of skill in any video game, unless you play against someone who knows all the spawn points, in which fuck that person. That's no fun.
Have you played it recently? It's
Maybe
tough.
like 3 years ago.
It's tough.
Well, I know the graphics aren't great, but
Yeah, the crispness of the movement is tough.
here's the thing. The reason why I didn't say that Perfect Dark was the best game ever is because it's the same game, same engine.
Yes.
But when you add like a bunch of extra shit in it, the game slows down a lot.
It does.
And so, I know that they released a version on Xbox. They released a version on, actually maybe even the new Xbox. I don't know. But the solution is if they would just release a version of the original game where it could use like modern RAM, it wouldn't slow down when you add like eight simulants. Then it would easily be the best shooting game ever. It's a step above GoldenEye because you can like fall off of ledges. It adds just enough elements to the gameplay where it makes it really more interesting.
Did you ever play the co-op missions?
Yeah, of
That
course.
was a lot of fun.
It's so much fun.
A lot of fun.
The best. I'm just gonna take a little more time. The best possible scenario, we called it. What do we call it? I forget. But it's the fortress level where there's it's a square.
Mm-hmm.
There are 4 bases, and there are 3 levels to each base. And there's a challenge mode where it's a capture the flag mode, and if you play that particular challenge, it's really hard, but it's doable. However, we would set it so that you would put on all 8 simulants, and one of them is a dark sim, which is the absolute hardest one. And so sometimes you just get killed for no reason. You just
I thought Perfect Sim was the hardest one.
No. Once you have to unlock the dark sim.
Oh shit.
Yeah, the dark sim is better than perfect. And
Perfect is insane.
the dark sim is beyond that. Yeah, if it sees you, you're dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every once in a while, you get lucky and you're just shooting when a door opens and you kill it. It is. Yeah. Oh yeah, you drop the controller. You're like, I'm done with this one now. But bottom line is, if you could adapt Perfect Dark to run on a modern system where it doesn't slow down at all, it would easily be the best shooter ever. Why were we talking about that?
God knows.
Oh, the game thing, Game of Halls, game Hall of Games.
Oh, right, you were talking about
Retro gaming. Game the Halls, January 10th, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Maybe you can play these games.
Victory Point. Yeah. You go. I could almost guarantee you can play the shit out of
Perfect Dark, GoldenEye. How about it?
Yeah.
And I don't know, end up in a fist fight with somebody who.
That's the best possible scenario. If you go up against a stranger and you like almost get in a fist fight, but then you become friends.
Yes. but they're really big and you're really small, so he puts you on his shoulders and carries you around. But at the end of the day, he dies and you're really sad and you have to find your own inner strength.
Whoa.
I know this is the best possible scenario, but that's
what was the
deep.
fucking movie?
It's a bittersweet
The Giant, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Jeez, that's a bittersweet.
It was sad. I
Resolve.
cried when I was a kid, but I was somewhere between the really big kid and the really small kid. I was kind of a chubby, average-sized kid.
I can relate to both characters.
Yeah, I felt like I was torn between who to identify with.
We want to talk about violent.
Violent.
How?
Man, hell yeah.
Yeah,
How,
let's get into it.
You know what? How real?
Like get fucking half tuned up, across the street.
I mean, it would be really cool if they had some Commodore 64s there that I could, sink my teeth into.
Jeez, Greg.
Yeah.
Commodore
Commodore
64.
64s. I'm bringing my brother-in-law because he tells me about living, growing up poor as shit Puerto Rican in the Lower East Side playing Commodore 64.
Yeah.
At his buddy's house, who like may or may not have stolen the Commodore 64.
Oh, gosh.
And
I'm gonna say that was a solid system. It's
You're the only one I've ever met who actually owned one.
Yeah, I don't know anybody else who had
No.
one.
It was a computer, right?
It was a good computer. I mean, it's the path less traveled. It's
Sure.
And like compared to Nintendo, I'll say if you played Castlevania on Nintendo and then the same thing on Commodore 64, the graphics looked a little bit different. It's debatable, I guess. I still think that Commodore looked better, but the sound was definitely better on Commodore for sure. And
But
that
it was
computer,
like a whole fucking like a screen, a fucking whatever. Like
yeah, it was the monitor screen, you know,
the monitor,
and the keyboard was the computer itself, and there was a disk drive separate from that, you know, 5.25-inch floppy disk.
That's all you could do with it is just play Commodore games. Like
No,
it
that's no, dude. It could get on the internet. Like
Oh, really?
That thing was built in 1982, but they were so
Holy shit.
forward thinking in 1982 that they made it like internet capable.
Wow.
And there, yeah, you could fax it. Like you could do so much stuff on
You
there.
could fax, you could make telephone calls.
You're like so far ahead
no,
of-
but I mean that's
everyone else.
I'm fucking dicking around, but like seriously, that's the
Yeah, we were all playing
It's
Nintendo, and
huge.
Greg had like a serious fucking computer.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. You're like that kid in fuck, what is that movie where they go into outer space? They build
oh
a
my god, in the
spaceship?
junkyard.
Navigator?
Yes.
No,
Is that
dude,
it?
that was a fucking.
I was thinking
killer movie.
Explorers. Is
That's not. That's
yeah.
that's the same thing.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
The River Phoenix movie, yeah.
Yeah, then that's what I'm talking about.
The
Yeah.
Last Starfighter.
Oh, that
Those are all the
that
same
with the
movie.
arcade game, yeah.
Yeah.
That one.
Dan, can I pop on this thing in here?
You were like
Yeah.
that kid, the computer kid,
Because
it wasn't even like-
I want to just smoke cigarettes.
because he was like the only one who like owned computer stuff. Maybe he wasn't a genius at all.
It was
Maybe
good.
text messaging.
There were some good games that like there was
that blonde chick
one
that, I told you about.
The Last
The one
Ninja
with
was
the bar?
one. I
at the
keep
North Hills
saying
Bar with Trevor.
I
Oh
don't
no,
know.
you didn't tell me about her.
That game was good.
We all
Did you
believe you,
tell
Greg.
No.
I know.
All right, so should we get back to it?
The
You don't
violent.
have to-
My God.
say?
I just need to. Yeah, just give me one.
I just need to
little
try to
answer.
like get my nut bone.
Get your nut off?
Get do the boning.
get
Get
it.
to
You
do
try,
the
you, try,
bone.
you trying to get a nut?
I'm just a squirrel in the world trying to get a nut. You heard?
I'm sorry. Yeah, let me just finish. Let's just finish this real fast.
Okay.
I feel bad because people like texted me while we're doing. it.
Yeah, my mother texted me. I neglected that shit. Okay.
My mom texted me too.
Yeah.
She told me that there was a good episode on some TV show. I was like, oh, sorry, I missed it.
She texted me. My mom texted me with lots of emoticons telling me she was very happy I could make it to dinner this evening, and told me about how the rest of the evening went. It was like, oh, mom, I love my mom. She's fucking cool as shit.
Actually, my mom is also I'm a science fiction fan, and so is my mom. So we whenever I really surprised the crap out of her whenever there was like the new Terminator trailer, and she's like, oh my gosh, whatever.
She likes Terminator.
Yeah, but she was like my buddy when the TV show was on. We would speculate on what was going to happen and everything.
That TV show's okay.
That's cool
Yeah.
as fuck, man.
Hey, the way you said that, George, like that TV show was okay. How's that?
because it ended too soon.
Yeah, I'm glad the way you put that because it was okay.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't.
Well, it
didn't
ended
blow
with-
me away.
There were some really solid points.
There was a couple things in there that were like, "Fuck you."
Wait, did,
Come with me if you want to live. Fucking bullshit. I hate
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
The
Cliche.
first episode, the first
God
episode
damn,
was
stop
definitely
doing that shit.
the first episode was definitely a little lame. It took a minute to get off its feet, but get onto its own feet. But
Everything that summer chick is in just seems to fail.
Well, it was just terrible because like she's fine.
I
and,
know
like,
it's not her
she's
fault.
good,
It's like
yeah.
she just
and
everything just goes down that she's on.
I know like
what was it?
Like if she ever wants to
most
be on this,
lamentably Firefly.
if she wants to be
obviously,
on the podcast, we should probably say no.
but- Sorry, Summer
We're
Glau.
like,
even
we-
though
we
like
look-
you're really
This
a
isn't
great
Hollywood.
actress.
You don't fail up here.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
we're not.
yeah. There's no. Well, yeah. There's.
Yeah.
Although we're just above the bottom though. So like there's really no.
We can't take a hit like that.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, we're just floating right now.
Although, like we're at a point though where if we took too deep of a hit, it might shoot us through the fucking floor and end up on
That's
the
true.
top in China.
That's
Like,
true.
That could happen.
We all just moved to China and like be really famous.
Gods.
Yeah.
And we're on like the radio in China.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and we'll be upper class because only the people who have a little bit of currency that speak English.
Yeah, right. And we're buying-
I actually don't know that. That was just really racist of me to say.
No, I mean, like some of them, they actually have to pay for a surgery to open up their eyes because it's true. They
Jesus
really can't
Christ.
No, stop.
through the thin slants. That's no, you're right. That wasn't racist.
Edit that out.
Yeah.
We're gonna-
Edit override.
So
And
Yeah,
some.
we were not back on.
no, well, no, we've been on the whole time.
Wow, okay.
But we're gonna start from here. Right now. Here we go. All right. So now we're welcome back.
Hey, we're back.
Yeah, we all just peed and did.
You just peed. Nobody else did. Liar.
You just peed?
I did.
Yeah.
I do.
Did I
like
hear
every
Yins
10
just
minutes,
there?
so.
I did not say yins
Did you just
unintentionally.
pee?
No.
There's not a sword fighting. It's not like we're all crowded around the toilet. We all just peed.
Although that's a very secure thing to do.
Yes. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
I mean, not when there's an option of just waiting. No, seriously, get your ass in here. We're peeing together.
No, like if you if you're peeing and someone accidentally walks into a single bathroom with you, you might as well say, "Hey, man, can be a sword fight if you want."
Hey, saddle up. It's
Yeah,
no problem.
It's no problem. Yeah.
Cool.
I know it's not intentional, but it almost sounds like you're referencing the story that I told you recently.
I was hoping you would segue into your story.
I'm,
I looked over at him. I gave him a look, and I'm like, "Do it, man."
I'm not just saying this so that you tell the people they're listening. But I don't remember what you're talking about.
Did-
Remember, refresh his memory. I like
I
the
was
story.
I was down a giant eagle. I don't say it as well, but I was a
Big
giant.
Bird.
I should no, I missed it actually. I should
Eagle
plural
Betty.
giant
Why
eagles.
did he say
But no, I was at the I went to the restroom. I was in and somebody was at the urinal, so I went to the stall. I was taking, and then I closed the door behind me, latch, whatever, and then I heard the door rattle behind me,
yeah.
and I turned around and look, and there's this like 8-year-old kid in the stall with me.
That is terrible.
What?
Oh my god.
He's like, "Holy shit!"
As I'm peeing, you know, and like
What do you want, kid?
something like that. Well, he came in and he just like kind of like looked around for a minute, and I said, I thought I locked that door for a reason. And which I mean, I know that those doors you can just shove them open pretty easily, which is clearly what he did. But then he walked like I guess. He like kind of walked toward like where I was. And I'm like, okay, I guess I better pinch it off. And he walked past me like in between me and the toilet.
Where was this kid?
And
Father, mother.
Yeah,
He knocked my phone out of my my phone fell on the floor like right next to a puddle of pee that somebody else had left. So which
Was it?
That was
Were there
close.
any parents in the vicinity?
not yet.
Just let him tell the story. I know.
I'm blown away.
But
What I like about this is if somebody would have like seen this happen, like they would have seen him in a public men's room with a little kid in the stall, and he's picking his phone up off the ground. It's like it'd just be him and a phone with his dick out and a little kid.
Oh my!
He would
Terrible.
have definitely become a sex offender like an accident. Nobody would have believed him.
Not a soul.
this story just got taken out of my hands. I just
Sorry, no, go
everyone-
ahead.
Keep going.
So, well, it's kind of like everybody. No, all right. But, so anyway, yeah, I mean, it was incidental that my phone nearly landed in a puddle of pee. So, but whatever. Anyway, I got that. But yeah, he walked in front of me. So okay, I guess I'd better like I was gonna say something else to him, but he already he started to take down his pants. I'm like, oh shit! So I zipped up. In that moment,
Oh my gosh.
Okay, it's terrible. We should probably just edit from here on. Anyway.
The
kids.
Finish the story.
It wasn't your fault.
It wasn't my fault. Anyway.
Allegedly.
But no, it's so I walked out of the stall and I was like, as I walked out of the stall, out of habit or like the instinct toward courtesy that I felt, I was going to shut the door and I thought, no, screw it, I'm gonna leave it open for this
Fuck yeah.
douche
I
nugget.
hope some kid walks on in.
And
Passive aggressive attack on an 8-year-old.
but like this.
I have some 30-year-old does the same shit to you.
So I walked out and I walked over to the sink. There were two sinks. Went to the one on the far one, the one on the right, and just washing my hands and washing my phone off from whatever pee might have gotten on it. And then the kid's dad came in and was like, oh, and like shut the door for him. And the kid came out and went to the sink. And don't you know he doesn't go to the sink that's closest to him. He as I'm washing my hands walks in front of me to the sink in front of me. I'm like, this kid just doesn't get it. It's like
This kid's like, Daddy, that's the man that tinkled with me.
it was so wrong.
I probably would have said something to the dad.
That's hilarious.
I mean, they always told me to watch out for strangers in restrooms. I never knew to look out for little kids. You know,
Yeah,
it's like,
right. They're everywhere, Greg. You gotta be on guard.
man.
Dude, I don't know. Being around like little kids and shit though, like if that happened to me, you know, you just like let them know, like, hey bud, why don't you go back out there and just wait for like 30 seconds? I'm about to finish up. Like, go ahead and take a hike. Because I mean, they might be used to like their dad taking a whiz, and they just like walk up, you know, and like take a whiz in the toilet with them, like not even thinking about it. And like that's normal, like dad-son behavior.
Crossing streams is fun.
Kid's dad should have, like, because his dad was there, he should have stepped in.
Yeah.
You
No,
know,
I think
like
Greg said his dad didn't come in until after.
Right, but he shouldn't have let his kid run in.
If he knows his kid at all,
right.
he
Like-
should know to like keep an eye on him.
Like, let's say the kid was just with his mom, and his mom didn't know what to do and sent him in. Okay,
Well, yeah, his
maybe
mom
it's
can't come to the
excusable.
bathroom,
But if the dad was there, like,
Yeah, so, dude, what are you doing? Like, you
Why-
can't let your kid run free.
and why do you send your kid alone into a bathroom? Like,
Because he clearly doesn't know how to use
and
one.
plus, like, as a
correctly.
father, like, I want to go in first. I don't know who's in there.
Right.
There's some weird shit that happens in bathrooms.
What if
What if
it wasn't Greg?
yeah.
What if it was some dude who turned around like, oh, good.
Right.
And it was like opportunity, yeah.
There,
Perfect.
dude,
Yeah.
when I was in high school, at the local Giant Eagle, there was a guy that worked there that jerked off in the bathroom and got fired for it.
Yeah.
Like, like that shit might happen. So you always go in first. You don't send your kid in blind.
No.
And wait, Greg, what Giant Eagle was this at?
This would have been Village Square, Bethel Park, you know.
I mean, that's like pretty nice up there.
So
But I was
this
thinking,
one
like,
I'm classy Giant Eagles. It
Yeah.
ain't like the one
it
near my
might
house.
be one of them market districts.
Oh,
yeah, you
oh,
buy that fancy cheese up
You
there.
know,
There's-
you
there's
can't
a market
trust them
district
fancy
here.
ones all the
Oh,
time.
it is a market district.
It is a
Listen to him.
market district.
You get them
Okay.
hoity-toity people up
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it makes more sense because them hoity-toity people sometimes don't even look after their kids at all.
You know, and they walk out of that bathroom, they don't even wash their hands.
They don't wash their hands. It's
They
ridiculous.
don't wash their hands. It makes me sick. Yeah, you gotta touch everything. You gotta touch the cereal bars. Sometimes I like to open them when I'm in the car and have one on the way home because I worked up an appetite. And Yins just put your hands all over them with your little dingleberry fingers. It makes me sick.
Yeah. Actually, this is all right. So unrelated, but when this was not a Giant Eagle. This was Parkway Center Mall. All right, I was at
That's definitely worse.
yeah, definitely
Still
worse.
exists?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely
In
worse.
Green Tree. So I was there. This was
So he was there alone. Go ahead.
so listen.
Yeah, you were there. You're the only person in the whole mall.
So wait, no.
You have to ring yourself out. Go
What?
ahead.
What is
All right, listen.
in that
Before you
place?
all tell the story in front of me, okay? Again.
He
All
is
right.
visibly pissed.
So I was there. This was like May of 2008. Okay, I was there because it was they were filming a movie there. It was a movie called Hollywood and Wine, which I think still has not had a U.S. release because it sucked that much. I presume. But it's a Chris Kattan movie. The SNL people are in it, and
Chris Kattan movie.
yeah. So I was there for just the one day, and I think they made it for like under $2 million. So it's like they were going real cheap. Hence Parkway Center Mall.
Right.
But so Chris Kattan was there. I was only there for the one day. Oh, and all the extras. I was there as an extra, and all the extras were being. Usually it's like 12 hours, but they let everybody out after 8 hours because they were trying to avoid time and a half at minimum wage. So that's how cheap they were. But our lunch was a fruit basket and a bag of chips. I mean, it was pretty bad. But anyway, at one point I hit the restroom and I was in there and I did whatever I did at the urinal, and then I was over at the sink. And the one assistant director was in there too, and he was kind of a dick the day. And this other guy was in there, and I just heard, "Hey, so when are we going to be done with this fucking movie?" And I turned and looked, and it was Norm Macdonald to my right.
Holy shit!
He was peeing in the urinal right next to my sink. So, and then the AD, who had been a kind of a dick to everybody else that day, was like, "Oh yeah, buddy, I don't know, man," you know, like trying to be his friend. And they just BS for a minute. I finished what I was doing, and then they left. And I'm like, all right. So I went back to the extras holding area, and everybody was pissed that day because we were all being treated like garbage. There was no AC in that room, and it was summertime. So I went in and just we weren't being that room wasn't supervised or anything by a PA. So I walked in and said, "Everyone, I have an announcement to make." And they all stopped whatever they were reading and looked at me, and I said, "Norm Macdonald does not wash his hands after peeing."
Oh, god damn.
Yeah.
Boom. Hammer.
Norm, I'm disappointed in you, man.
Sorry,
I
everyone.
really like you a lot.
Hey, Norm, this is just a message coming from one guy to another.
Earth to Norm.
Stay out of my niggle. Okay, I want you to
Come in there and then go to the bathroom and then touch a whole bunch of my food.
No,
Okay?
I don't want no autographs. I don't want no DVDs in that discount DVD bin. Signed by ends. Nothing. Just stay out.
Also, I gotta say, I'm real disappointed in you for them KFC commercials.
No.
Oh, Bud, what was you thinking? There's no self-respect left in this world.
All right, that now that we've gotten that far off of anything that I don't even know how that happened.
That was great though.
Let's go. Yeah, it was good.
The violent.
Let's go to the comics for this portion of the program. The first comic we'll be talking about is called The Violent, which came out this week, which is today's the 15th or sorry, the 11th. My bad.
Tricky.
Yeah. So yeah,
12th,
it's
man.
the okay.
Oh,
Now
this-
it's the 12th.
Now it's the
yeah,
12th.
it was
The
the
past 12.
Yeah, it's the 12th of December,
Is that how that
2015. It came out this past week. This book, I'm not sure if we were all unconsciously doing this, but we might have been staving off talking about this because it's just so real.
Man.
It is. It
I
is
just
so
took
real.
another sip of bourbon because this lights a fire in me. That is fueled by bourbon.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say that this book is fantastic because this is the first issue, and already I'm very concerned about the two main characters. Like I'm very concerned about them. This is essentially a story about two people who used to be addicts, and they are trying to put their life back together. And I think that's a good enough summary.
And the male is I mean he was in jail and now he's
He was
out.
in jail for a breaking and entering
Yeah,
charge.
and he's trying to work, and she's trying to work, and
yeah, and they have a child together as well.
Yeah,
and so it's basically these people trying to put their life back together after they fucked up a whole bunch of times, and everything that happens in this book is challenging them to fuck up.
Right.
Yeah, it's just all temptations.
I mean,
and
the book opens with the male staking out a house he wants to break into.
yeah. And he only doesn't do it because she pulls up in the car and says, "What are you doing?"
Right, and she knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
And like halfway through the book, you find out that because she seems like the stronger one of the two, and she has her head on a swivel, and then you find out in the middle of the book
she was also an addict.
She was a drug addict, and she was a serious drug addict.
Yeah.
So she's no saint either.
No.
And also doing B and E's as they call them in the biz.
Well, I think that he was a B&E person, and he's also like probably an alcoholic. But she is a much harder drug user. They don't imply that he's done harder drugs. I don't think.
No, there's no implication of that.
Yeah,
but he was a drinker.
He's definitely a drinker. Yeah,
a burglar.
Yeah. Although, do they imply that he's a harder drug user?
They do because he says
I didn't catch it.
That's what I was just looking at because he does. He says the drug dealer, the smack dealer, and I mean it's dope. It's heroin, to be specific. But the drug dealer does say when he approaches the wife, she's going into work,
you're right.
Look, I miss you guys.
You're right.
Oh, okay,
you were my best customer.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys were like my best customers.
Okay.
And so from that I got that it was talking about the husband and wife.
Good call.
Okay. So this is a hunter-gatherer situation where like the two of them are both addicted to drugs, and his job is to go out and break into places to get money for their drugs.
At one point,
not now. Yeah, not now. No. Now
they both have
they're
legit jobs.
Yes, they both do have legitimate jobs, and like they're like she cleans office buildings, and he moves stuff. He's a mover. He moves people's items from here to there. And it's this book is just
so heavy,
super real. It is.
There's no fantasy elements.
No,
it's 100% real.
It's interesting you say that because I was reading it and I kept thinking like, all right, when's the weird thing gonna happen?
Yeah.
When's the UFO gonna show up? When's the alien or the ghost or the goblin gonna show up? Like,
Yeah.
nope,
Well-
nope. You get to the end of the book and it's just, oh man.
Well, maybe if one of them trips, you'll see some goblins and
Maybe.
Yeah, but no, I don't.
Now I
think
probably
that's
see
gonna
one of them
happen.
die or something.
Nah,
Something
I
fucking
mean,
scary and
this
serious.
book,
Yeah.
Yeah.
this book is real, and I don't know if I can continue reading it because when I finished this first issue, I was like emotionally exhausted
Yeah.
For sure.
because there was the only bit of happiness in that book was the child, and the child was missing at the end of the book.
Yeah.
So you finish and you're like, oh my god, I can't do it. I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I can come back.
Well, I'm definitely gonna come back because I need to know what happens with these people because it's like
You invested in that.
Yeah.
well, no, that's what's great about this first issue is that it's so well written and
It is.
seems. And Greg, you said this to me in the car on the way here.
Yeah.
You said I forgot that I was reading a comic book.
Yeah.
It's
For sure.
it's so real. Like I'm really genuinely worried about both of these characters and their kid, and I just hope that they don't fuck up because
Also, it's called The Violent too, which implies that maybe like some really bad stuff's gonna happen that we haven't seen.
Yeah, and that world,
Yeah.
that
That's a very strong title.
as another
It
credit
is.
to the writing, that makes me worried.
Yeah.
I'm worried that like something really violent's going to happen with these characters that they've in one issue made me care about.
Yeah.
I mean, and I should probably just take the story for what it is instead of looking for elements outside of it. But the front cover of issue 1 has 2 images that are both kind of disturbing that aren't in the story of this first issue. One is a handgun you see in somebody's back pocket.
This is
Another
the
one
reflection.
is yeah,
the,
and
the shadow.
yeah,
of
and
that
then
person.
and somebody being dragged. It looks like
No.
what
It's
is
a
that?
baby stroller.
He's
Oh, that's baby.
Someone's pushing a baby stroller, but you see in the foreground, the shadow is someone pushing a baby stroller. In the foreground is that person has a gun in their behind, like on their pants.
Okay, I misremembered. Yeah,
And that's the male,
that's much better
Yeah.
actually.
and because you can see his hair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he has the little stupid hat on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'd
say
this book was really well written.
as far as making you give a shit about characters, there is no book that we've talked about thus far that's made you give more of a shit about characters than this one.
Yeah.
And this one has no fantasy in any way in it.
None.
It's all characterization. Like this is some of the best writing I've experienced, TV or comics or movies in like a really long time. Like it's like how many pages, whatever, however many pages, they make it feel like wow, you're like I'm worried about all these characters already.
absolutely.
It's hard to think about picking up the next issue because although it's really good and I really liked it a lot, I own a copy of Requiem for a Dream and I haven't watched it in more than 10 years.
Right, because you can't watch that movie more than once a year without committing suicide.
That
Yeah.
movie is terrible. Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
great movie. It's a
but
great
it's
movie.
so terrible.
Yeah.
Like to watch. You watch it and you just
The soundtrack is fucking amazing.
It is.
Everything
It's
about the movie is
so
amazing.
goddamn good.
Yeah.
The testament is to that is that once again you cannot watch it too often because
you
you'll
feel
just
so bad.
you'll
Yeah.
just start to be really depressed.
Yeah.
I'm already
So
depressed thinking
good.
about it.
Yeah, it's
Thinking
just-
about where he loses his arm. Oh,
Mm.
God.
But what I got as an overarching theme through this book, like, isn't the smack addiction, which it is, or a city that is being gentrified or perhaps regentrified.
Vancouver.
Right.
Mhm.
And you have this influx of, whatever, like in Pittsburgh, a Lawrenceville situation.
Mhm.
Or
I
in-
did appreciate that line, his coworker
friend,
in the
yeah.
bar where he
Mhm.
was just like blasting like the
Yeah,
hipster type
Yeah.
crowd.
Yeah.
Like I did.
Yeah.
That was very good writing. It was
Yeah.
very
topical.
yes.
and I think, especially for us being based out of Pittsburgh, and
There are a lot of areas like that.
right, and
The
Jared and
Brooklyns.
I used to train in Lawrenceville, which is now we were training there right as it was at that tipping point
Yeah.
where you could still find rent in an apartment for $300 a month, but you could also find rent in a converted condo for $1,100 or $1,200 a month.
Yeah.
And now it's solidly. I mean, it's the tipping point. It's gone past that. Now it's good luck getting anything there for
less
something
than $7.
Less than $700 a month for something that's quite small.
Yeah.
Or you know, considering what you could get for that just outside of that neighborhood.
I thought what you were going to say was that you used to live in the brew house.
That's what I thought you were going to say. Yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, that's another thing. I mean, me living in the brew house where I had an amazing space, live space, an amazing studio, together, probably in the range of like around 3,000 square feet.
Yeah, it was a really large place.
And now it's being, you know,
gutted,
sectioned out into
smaller
pieces.
Definitely smaller pieces.
But it wasn't the commentary on that isn't what caught me. The commentary was the drugs and was the situation, and drugs not as smack or heroin in particular, but this idea of being in a space that is passionless and needing to fucking pacify that discontent, that anxiety, that depression, and turning to drugs. But I think that we can all find ourselves, if we're honest, we can all relate to these main characters in some way. Turning to, maybe your thing is TV or a shitty relationship or food or fucking beer or whatever. Just pacifying, trying to just subdue these feelings that won't relent. They're never going to relent unless something changes, and bitterness and frustration and fucking raging against the reality that, I mean, it's a reality. Transition, change is inevitable, and raging against that, manifesting in fucking drug addiction and smack use, and that resistance to it, instead of sorry, go ahead.
No.
Instead of standing up or just acknowledging things are changing, life is changing, this is an absolute constant, and I'm going to be strong enough to accept that and fucking try to change with it, or try to change my mindset and not have to not to be so stuck in one place that you go ahead.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you. Like, the I think a lot of the problem, because these characters, they start to argue about, and what makes it so real is when they're talking to each other, they're arguing about things that are like really just like everyday, regular things. Like in fact, the writing is so brilliant because at one point she asks him to not forget to get eggs and bread and some like milk,
butter,
whatever, something like that, and he doesn't forget that, but
steal it.
But because he has tendencies, like the tendencies that obviously put him in jail, he like initially tries to steal it, and the guy who owns the shop or is working at the shop catches him, and he says like, "Hey man, stop!" and he punches that guy in the face. But then he's so ashamed of what he did, he throws that shit in the garbage, and he comes home.
I thought the milk broke.
The eggs or something got all over.
Yeah.
Well,
so then he threw it all out.
But I think that maybe he would have done that even if that hadn't broke. I think he might have just thrown that away because he knew that like he should have just bought it. Like he screwed up. He had the money to buy it. Yeah. He fucked up, and he didn't want to lie to his wife or girlfriend or whatever. I'm not sure if they're married, but he didn't want to like present these things to her as like a lie, because he mostly is trying to do his best, and he knows that's not his best, and so he didn't want to present that to her because he would feel shitty about it, which speaks to his, like, somewhere in there's like a nobility, but he has impulses, and so does she, and it's all very fucking real.
And to finish that, when he shows up and she said, "Where's the stuff?" and he just says,
Right.
oh, it's
Yeah, I
blank. That's
forgot.
space." Yeah.
I totally forgot about that. Yeah, he just says like, "Oh, sorry, I forgot." He doesn't tell her anything that just happened. He
Yeah.
just says, "Sorry, I forgot," and he's willing to take that like that little bit of, like flack for her being like, "Oh, come on, man," versus like,
The greater shame.
here's what happened. Like I did this. He's not honest with her.
I broke.
Yeah, he doesn't tell her that he broke, but he did, and like you can argue like is that better or worse for their relationship?
The
No, but
white lie.
Little white
acknowledging
lie.
that, like acknowledging that, like, fuck, I'm still hung up on an existence that's no longer fitting, an existence that's reflective of a time earlier in my life that's no longer present. Something resisting that, not acknowledging it, just fucking perpetuates it.
Yeah.
And I can empathize. I feel like, again, being in Pittsburgh, we've all maybe had some slightly old man sounding conversations about like, oh, hipsters moving into this area and just fucking driving rent up. And that's exactly the conversation that these guys have in the bar about this used to be our bar and we could get whatever pints for something, and now it's like a zoo and we're the spectacle for these hipsters to drink with. But the thing that's driving people into these areas is a passion for something.
Yeah.
A passion for whatever it is. And granted, sometimes these people with passions like can, maybe it's pretension or something, but what this comic left me thinking about was this idea of passion in every respect in life, and that passion and depression can't occupy the same space at the same time. Like passion and anxiety can't occupy the same space in the same time. Passion and despair can't occupy that same space. I mean, you can also be passionate about something and feel despair at different points, but in that moment where you're so engaged in this passionate pursuit, you're so wrapped up in it that there's no time for fucking tying off your arm and jamming a needle full of dope into your vein, because you're experiencing this passion. And that's what you're seeing is this. That's what's gentrifying this area are largely a group of passionate people who are willing to forego some safety and do find some novelty in this danger.
Well, I think it's more of. I mean, I don't disagree with what you just said, but I think it's more of a where there's these people who come from an area of safety and they don't know real danger. The hipsters, like they don't know. A lot of them are middle class. They've never been around actually dangerous areas ever,
Right.
and so they it's like they're slumming. And in fact, that guy uses that word.
I think so.
The guy in his friend in the comic book,
The
says,
drunk
like,
guy.
they're coming down here and they're slumming, and I think that is the case where they're slumming and they don't realize like if there are any actual dangers, they're not, those dangers aren't real to them because they've never experienced them before.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and that's the thing that I don't know, really like kind of destroys areas that are, I don't know, I mean, down my luck. I don't know,
But what is it that emerges? What are like the first places to emerge in an area that is being gentrified or re-gentrified?
Bars.
It's fucking coffee shops and art galleries.
And bars.
And like the bars, like the old bars will start to be, frequented by this new population.
No,
right?
no. A lot of bars are taken over by people who have the money to buy the bar
Buy
to
him
make
out.
it.
Buy that
make it a different thing.
65-year-old guy out
Yeah.
of his space.
Yeah,
And
Marshall's
he
a
willingly
perfect-
goes.
Yeah.
Because he wants to retire.
Sure, absolutely, but I think that's later stages. That's later just in the same way that Southside was regentrified or gentrified by the gay bookshop. It was a gay bookshop and St. Elmo's Fire down here, right near where Lava Lounge is. Not to get into too much of like the sociological, socioeconomic
History of
shit,
Pittsburgh.
but right. But what's driving the same thing that's driving change is the same thing that's missing that drives addiction, and it's this absence of passion. And in it's not the only thing, right? There's plenty of other things, but I feel like that's really present, and you see that in these characters in this book is that they are desperate.
Yeah.
These are desperate people. These aren't people who for a long time haven't been in touch with whatever it is that fucking excites them. That
Yeah, well, for yeah, as we said earlier, like they get in really like petty arguments about stupid shit, and that I think that's relatable to a lot of people who have been in any kind of long-term relationship. Like when you start getting in those arguments, first of all, first you're concerned about what the argument's about, but then you realize like, why am I even worried about that? That's stupid. Like that's a dumb thing to argue about. I don't know why. And then you realize like, I used to be concerned about maybe larger issues or something like that. Like this is not a survival issue. This is like, did you not wipe that plate off before you put it in the dishwasher? Like that's so stupid.
Right.
Like why? I shouldn't even have to. My brain shouldn't. I should have to expend no mental energy on that concept.
Why do I go there?
Yeah, I'm not going to go there. I don't want to go there. I'm not going to go there. That's
But then
fucking
sometimes
stupid.
you go there and you're like, well, I started this, so I'm gonna win this argument.
Right.
Fuck that.
No matter what, I'm gonna die on this hill.
Yeah. Well, they'll know that many stood before, or few stood before many, and we shall perish in the.
One jackass will be immortalized upon this hill as the man who would not concede.
And we shall die in the shade. Is what I meant to say.
Oh fucking hell! Isn't that the truth?
That's,
But it is real.
yeah. Every once in a while, you get in an argument with your significant other. You're like, well, I guess I'm gonna die in the shade then because I'm not stopping.
I will not quit.
I don't care how many reasons you have.
So, for those of you who don't get enough of that in your own lives, The Violent, available at your local comic shop.
But yeah, this book is just holy shit.
The characters, like, they're not bad people. They're not evil.
No, it's
Like, you can fault the guy a little bit for wanting to be a thief twice in the book.
yeah.
But they're not bad. Like, and even when you like start to think like this guy's bad news, when she picks him up in the beginning when he's staking out that house, and she yells at him for leaving their kid at home, he says something to their daughter, and then she gives him a look in the book, and the art is perfect. She gives him this look like, see, like you know you screwed up. And you know, like, she idolizes you and you love her very much. So why would you do that? And he has this, like, look on his face like, I really let everybody down.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and it's a very real, and the artist, like, wow,
Yeah.
did you do a great job portraying that scene? Like, you don't even have to read any of the text to understand what happened there.
Yeah.
Because of how well he drew it.
Yeah.
And so nobody's evil in this book.
No, absolutely not.
Nobody's bad. They're just people with fucking problems. And at the end of it, like,
Oh, you want that's the best thing about this book is that at the end of it, you hope for the best for
yes,
all the characters.
you know it's not gonna happen.
I know it's not gonna happen, but like you want the best for them, and I can't think of, with maybe the exception of Paper Girls, any other book that made me care about all the main characters as much as this one, and like. Even though this this is very serious material. Like you can't if you're not ready, if you want to have like an escape, don't fucking read that book.
No.
But if you want to read something that is one of the best written things that I've read in a long time, you should read this because it is fucking amazing.
The execution of this book is perfect.
Yeah, it is so real that it's as Greg said earlier, you forget that you're reading a comic book and you just start to get into this thing, and it might be like kind of depressing, but it's.
But again, I can't
So
stress
fucking real.
enough. Like where this resonates, that place that this fucking resonates, that depresses the shit out of you or that upsets you. Like explore what that place is.
Yeah.
Explore what it is, because what these people are experiencing might be something that you've experienced, which is a lapse in time between the last time you felt really alive or excited about something.
Yeah.
And that is exactly what they're going through. And the way they're dealing with it is heroin. Maybe the way you're dealing with it is, I don't know, fucking boozing it up or watching too much Netflix or eating too much ice cream or whatever. But like, think about that. If you read this and it fucking bothers you, explore that place where it bothers you.
Yeah. That's a really good way to put it. Yeah. I need to. Let's take a break. All right. Are we still?
Huck.
Yeah, it's been rolling the whole time.
Huck the motherfucker.
All right, so we're back. We just had an experience outside. At some point, maybe we'll tell you guys about this. But
Maybe.
holy shit, that was weird.
Deep cuts, maybe we'll tell you.
Yeah. There's like
Real
a
deep
deep cut or something.
cuts.
Yeah. We're gonna get into Huck right now, which is. I'm glad we took a break between that last one and this one, because that last one. This is the opposite of this. This one's really uplifting.
To cleanse our palates, so to speak.
Exactly. Yeah.
You've had your palate cleansed already, motherfucker.
What the hell is with you? Why am I getting singled out on
didn't
that?
say what happened. Nobody said what happened.
Just because you said cleanse the palate, he said it. I want to fucking.
Because you set him up and he knocked him down.
Yeah. Nobody said.
Alley-oop.
What the hell, dude? Done. Dude, you just made the same joke I did, just louder. That's all.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Hey, nobody said what happened. We're just gonna keep that shit in our hats. And
I almost did, but then I bit my tongue.
Yeah.
We're just gonna talk about Huck right now.
At least it was just you that did it.
All right. Greg, if it makes you feel better, I'll admit that we are both in the same boat. Okay, so
There we go.
There it is.
Solidarity
Yeah,
all around.
Solidarity. Hey, I'm with you. Okay. And actually, Jared's like kind of in the same boat.
Yeah, me too.
Jared resisted the dark side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He tried so hard.
He was Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
Constitution of a fucking oak. He's wide herb.
Oh, yeah.
Early days wide herb though, before he broke.
All right, so the next book is Huck. It's an Image comic.
Mark Millar
Mark Millar
and Raphael Albuquerque.
Yeah, and this I really like. This
How
book
is
a
anybody
lot.
supposed to know that?
I love this book.
So this book is about, for those of you who have not read it, this book is about a guy who lives in a small town, and he definitely has superpowers,
Like Superman.
and everyone in the town knows that, but they kind of just ignore it because they know that if anybody else knew that, then it would be a big fiasco. And
Media spectacle.
he's essentially their town's like superhero, and none of them talk about it. In the book, it's explained through like an older woman who has a newcomer to the town staying with her, who's like a young woman, and it kind of a lot of it's told through the older woman telling the younger woman, exactly who this dude is, and
how it is.
Right,
It's
and
a
how it is.
secret, and this is the way it is. And so if you're gonna live here, you must do it that way.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
Yeah.
we don't talk about this. It's just the understood secret of the town.
Yeah, and they all keep the secret because everything he does is a good deed. He does one good deed a day, and sometimes it's as simple as, I shouldn't say simple, as like
Taking the garbage out.
taking the garbage out for the whole town,
Yeah.
or as complex as going to Africa and freeing some kids that have been captured by a
200
warlord.
200 girls.
Yeah, 200 girls have been captured by a warlord, but then coming back the next day and pretending like he didn't just do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this book is like super uplifting, and it makes you feel just, you know,
It is.
and I think the good feeling doesn't come from necessarily what he's doing. It does a little bit because he does a lot of great things, but the good feeling comes more from the fact that there's a bunch of people who know that it's him doing it, and they don't say shit about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they all know that like it's for the greater good, that not just their personal greater good, like not just their town, but that every once in a while he goes out and does something like internationally recognized,
Yeah.
and they still don't say shit about it because they're like, no, that's just a really nice thing he did.
So for my initial thought was, as I was reading it, was this book just makes me feel really good.
Mm-hmm.
Because the pretty much I think I could say this absolutely. The best I feel is when I do something really nice for someone.
Yeah.
That they have no fucking idea.
Yeah.
Or I just step up, take care of something, and I know that I did it, and I can see the impact, the positive impact it had on someone else's life, and like that is that's enough.
Yeah.
And that might still be kind of selfish, or it might be feeding something in me that's kind of selfish or self-serving. But how did you guys feel about?
I like
Because it seemed like there were some parallels, some very distinct parallels between Huck and Superman. And I was like,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
yeah, that's true.
Before, well, after I think it was after the book was released, there were a lot of interviews with Mark Miller, and he said, I came up with this idea when I watched Man of Steel, and Superman snapped Zod's neck, and he thought to himself, that is not the Superman that I know. So this is his like response to that. He said, like, this is the type of person that Superman is to me.
Okay.
Like morally pure. And I mean, clearly Huck is that. He is a simpleton. Like he is like Forrest Gump with powers.
Well, but
Is he?
But is he though?
Yeah,
We
I
talked
think
about that.
so.
Like, yeah, I'm not sure if he.
I think that's a ploy.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I'm gonna go with he is because it just makes the whole idea even more compelling. But if he's not, I'm okay with it. Like I still think it's a great story, but I think it's more compelling that he is more of a simpleton and he has these powers and he's just like pure in every sense.
See, I think it's more compelling if he's not, but he's pretending to be, because that would take so much more like fortitude to if you were someone who has your full mental capacity, but you're pretending the whole time to just like not really get it, and you have these like superpowers and you're just helping, like you're so good that it doesn't matter that people think that you're not all there.
He's just willing to do anything to help people.
Right.
Because he's like giving up his whole life because he's not really that person. If it is what we
Well,
think.
and then
Yeah,
like
right.
look at his where he lives. Like it's like cracks in the wall.
Yeah, it
like
sucks.
Yeah.
nothing. Like he lives in a dump.
Yeah. But I mean,
And he works at a gas station in a small town.
yeah. Yeah, but on the other hand, like if you had those powers and you had the ability to help people like that, that might be so fulfilling that it doesn't matter where you live. It doesn't matter what you do. You know, he always feels fulfilled because he's just helping people all the time. Because you know how good it feels to help people. If you had the ability, if you had superpowers and you could help people in like a really huge way every day of your life, you'd like one good deed. Because his thing is he has one good deed he does every day.
Yes.
And it might take all day, but like, or it might take like three seconds. Like at one point he pays for everyone in. He walks through a drive-through and pays for everybody's lunch.
Yeah. Well,
Behind him?
everyone behind him is pissed at him.
Yeah. But when they get to the window, they're like, "Oh, that guy did that. Oh,
What a nice guy.
But he also
Also made
he probably
Olympians feel
didn't.
like
He
shit.
probably told them not to tell them.
Oh,
Right, because he tells everybody.
Yeah,
I mean,
he
like
probably
he's
told them
he's like
not to say anything.
he's clearing out the barn, the
Yeah.
new space for John Clancy's barn, and he's telling them keep an eye out. Like,
Yeah, and that I think that scene is really important. The when he's paying for everything, because clearly he doesn't have to worry about how much money it costs, and because I don't know if he knows how many people are in line behind him or not. Like, because that could be like, I mean, not crazy expensive, but like kind of expensive.
Mhm.
And I'm assuming that he has enough money to do it. And I'm not sure if it's because he has powers or because he never spends money because he doesn't have to because he has superpowers. So maybe he's like just collected money.
Didn't they say he never eats and drinks or something like that?
Did they say something like
I
that?
think they did.
I don't know.
I might
But
have skimmed over that part.
yeah, I don't remember.
He
But-
reminds me. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, it's just but if he's able to do something like that, because not all of the things he does that are nice have to do with his superpowers. Like that's not superpower at all. It's just him doing like a nice thing with his own money.
Yeah.
Right.
And that is, I think sometimes even, I'm not saying money's more important than deeds, but like for someone who has powers, it would be easier for him to like go out and do like a superpower thing than to pay for something with money. And that I think that makes the money thing even more important. Where he's like, you know what? I'm gonna go and pay for all these people's meals. And that actually cost me my physical
Because
money.
using superpowers is so easy for him.
Right, yeah. It's like oh yeah, no, I can totally walk across the street.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
That'll help somebody. Okay, I'll do that right now.
Yeah, I'll do
Done.
that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'll carry this old lady across the street.
Yep.
Like I'll jump her across the street. Whatever. But yeah. Him paying for a bunch of people's meals is like he does work and he does, earn money for himself. So that's like maybe even the superest thing he does. That's not a word, but that's the most super thing he does.
it is now.
The whole comic book like pay for everyone's meals with his own personal money, and I that's what really got it for me.
Well, he reminds me of Mice and Men. Who's
Lenny.
the guy? Lenny.
Lenny.
He reminds me of a cross between Lenny and the fucking guy from Shawshank Redemption, and
Which one?
or not Shawshank Redemption,
Green Mile.
Green Mile, and Superman. Like, kind of this simple dude or the simple-minded dude who, because the front cover is him with his hand out, like holding it up to a little sparrow who's flying down, and not saying Saint Francis is depicted with like holding sparrows and shit, and he wasn't a simpleton, but like he just, and like look at this picture of him. About 3/4 of the way through the book, he's got this like dumb look on his face where he's like, dude.
Right,
No,
like
no.
that is key. Like
I don't
he's
think that-
drawn and like to have that look.
Yeah,
I don't
this
think-
underbite with
It's not an underbite. He's just like I don't
definitely got an underbite.
No, he doesn't.
He definitely does. Look at this jaw protruding.
He's talking.
There's there are pictures depicting him as right there. Come
Kind of
on.
looks like
There are, I tell you, there are pictures.
I say
He kind of looks like
No,
a
care.
young Jay Leno.
I don't think that.
he does look like Jay Leno. Thanks, dude.
Yeah.
A little
a
bit.
little bit.
I will say this. Listen,
Okay, he has a big jaw. Yeah.
about the simpleton aspect of it. I didn't really think critically about whether he is a simpleton or whether he's pretending to be, like you were speculating it might be. But with the secret where he like whoever's telling the story to the outsider who says like, oh, but we just keep it secret. If other people say keep it secret, that's not telling enough whether it's legitimate or not. His simple-minded nature. But when he rescues all those kids that from Boko Haram thing in Africa,
Yeah, something like that.
yeah, and he tells them, now I just ask one favor, keep this
don't
a
tell
secret.
anybody.
I don't think that Forrest Gump would have said
No.
that. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I think he may be self-aware.
That's
And-
well, that's the thing. That I was actually going to say that.
Yeah.
And thank you, Greg. Like
Yeah.
I don't think that. I don't agree that he has like developmental disability or something like that. I think that he is just like a man of few words.
Yeah.
Like he's Superman if he never left Smallville. He's just.
That's
Because
a good way to put it.
He
Yeah,
says,
yeah, that is
I
kinda-
brought some candy to cheer everyone up. After he like whips a bunch of terrorists' ass,
Mm.
and there's a bunch of girls who are like really scared. He's like, I brought you some candy, and he says, but I need you to all do me a favor. That's, I don't know. Like that's pretty expressive for someone who doesn't know what they're doing, really.
But
like,
can't-
I feel
he
like
knows.
that
He first of all, he went to Africa because he saw it on TV.
But I feel like that simultaneously supports your point and Dan's point.
I agree because
Like-
candy is a childish thing,
But he's rescuing
Right.
kids. It's all kids. It's not. He's
but it's
rescuing a
kids
bunch
who
of kids.
probably never had candy in their lives.
Right,
Which
dude. If I was
makes it
going to
even better.
rescue
North
a bunch
Africa.
of kids, like the last thing I would be thinking of is like bringing a bunch of Snickers. Like, I mean, if like the 5 of us were like, you know what, fuck this, we're going to North Africa to rescue these fucking kids, we'd be like, wait. Hey, Jared, did you pack the Snickers? Those kids are gonna be super freaked out. We gotta give them some Snickers.
If we had superpowers, first of all, you probably would wait until you got to North Africa to buy the Snickers. It's stupid to swim across the
Can't buy
ocean.
Snickers in North
Snickers.
Africa.
Why would you do
Buy
that?
Snickers
Yeah, don't
in
be
Liberia.
ridiculous.
Like,
You get the Snickers after you're there.
that Liberian
Oh,
fucking
my-
Snickers shipment.
Okay, maybe he
shit.
swam because we don't know if he can
Swam.
fly
He
yet.
took a
first of all.
plane. It shows.
He does, yeah, he took a plane.
Okay, so
yeah.
he took all right,
hung
fair
on
enough.
underneath
Maybe
of
he
it.
had a bunch of candy in it.
Maybe he bought them from one of those Air Mall magazines.
Yeah,
But, okay.
Well, first of all,
right.
no one buys shit from Sky Mall unless they're
Sky
like
Mall.
crazy rich and an idiot. Nobody
Nobody
buys from Sky Mall. I can't believe Sky Mall's still a thing.
Right.
And people buy things from it. That's ridiculous.
okay.
Sorry, Sky Mall. I can't promote
No,
you.
not sorry, Sky Mall.
We-
Fuck
yeah.
you.
Fuck you. That's ridiculous.
Your business model is garbage. But like I don't know. I read the acts that he wanted to do before saving the girls as simpleton acts, like mow the lawn for so and so, take the trash out for so and so, tell Ralph to take the day off and do his shift for him. Like that's all he could come up with. And they are really, really nice things to do and really pure and good-hearted. But if you have the power of Superman, don't you think you would go out and do something a little bit more, I don't know, progressive?
Impactful.
Right, for the entire world rather than for your small town.
Well, no, I don't think
Right.
so. Like I think that maybe because he grew up in the small town or was like put in the small town by the eventually by the
Right, because he was an
orphanage.
orphan.
Yeah, I think that maybe he's more concerned about the town than he is about like the world,
Yeah.
the wider world. But like,
Maybe he thinks it'll cause more problems.
right, that's another thing. Like he thinks that if he did more like worldwide things, that attention would be brought.
People will rely on him.
But do you think
Shit
that
like
old
that.
lady is going to be mad at him for going to Africa? Because it
Maybe.
risks like
maybe
letting out the secret, like he got this idea that was too big for the town that he lived in.
I don't know, but for the things he did like before the Africa thing, firstly, like buying lunch for everyone in line. That he's like helping, maybe
Pay-
like a
Pay it forward
a
times
sixth
10.
of the whole town.
Yeah.
And then the second thing he does is whenever that guy sees him outside and he's like dragging some garbage cans, he's just like, shh.
Yeah, don't tell anybody.
Yeah, don't tell anybody. He takes the whole town's trash out like that. It's not just like a block or like he takes the whole town's.
But if
trash
you
out.
had those powers, would you wake up and be like, I'm going to take everybody's garbage out
The
today?
question is he smart enough to realize that he should keep that on the down low, or does he just want to do nice things for the people that are around him?
I don't think he's smart enough to keep it on the down low because he doesn't. Because he goes to Africa.
Yeah, but maybe he saw because he saw it on TV. He was like, all right, I this is a thing that I need to handle. Because
It's bumped to the
maybe
top of
he's
the
the
list.
only. Because if there's other superheroes, then he'll be like, nah, that like Wonder Woman can handle that. But like, if he's the only, like if he's unique,
So is that the first time you turn on a television?
well, no, maybe he's done something like that before. Well, the reason why
It's true.
The reason
so we don't know
the
because
reason why they blow up the spot at the end is because the old lady told that girl
the girl not to say anything.
not to say anything,
Yeah.
and she did. That's the problem. Like, it's not that he did a bunch of like nice stuff, because he's done nice stuff the whole time, and it's implied that he's done nice stuff like this he's not changing his MO at all. Like the old lady wasn't surprised that the African kids were saved. She wasn't like, oh my god, did he go all the way over there? She was like, yeah, that was him. So maybe whenever something crazy like that happens, he just takes care of it.
He does it, and then
like
comes
whenever
back and moves on.
Yeah, like whenever nothing else is happening, maybe he just takes everyone's garbage out. But whenever something serious is happening, then he takes care of that too. So I'm thinking that he's just keeping a low profile for anything that's not like really, really serious.
Like he doesn't try to police the whole world.
Right.
He just does what he can and he's happy.
Yeah.
Just doing that.
And when it's like something like this, like Boko Haram, fucking Africa thing
he's
happens,
gotta step in.
he's like, no, it's a bunch of kids. I have to take care of that. So that's my read on it. I don't necessarily think that he has like a mental disorder or is simple-minded or has developmental disability. I think that he's just trying his best to live simply.
I mean, you could be simple-minded and not have a mental disorder, right? Like it's not like, not suggesting that he's developmentally delayed or has some sort of like congenital,
Their problem.
But what I did really like about it is that someone who is capable of going to North Africa, freeing 200 potential sex slaves, swimming to the depths of the ocean to retrieve a gold necklace that was accidentally thrown out and dumped in the ocean. But he's also doing dumb shit like fucking mowing some lawns, and
Taking
this,
the garbage out.
and it's showing you like, listen, man, like even if you did have all the superpowers in the world, all the superpowers that you've ever wanted, there's also something very heroic about doing simple shit and very like impactful and meaningful and doing simple stuff. Like you're mowing your lawn, mow your fucking neighbor's lawn.
Yeah.
Like
they're gonna
you're
come out of the house and be like, oh wow, my lawns that was really nice.
Yeah, like goddamn, you made
so
my
much.
day. Even if it's an able-bodied person, like you mow their lawn and it's like, wow, that's incredible.
You know, the world we live in, I've imagined doing this before. I've thought about it, but then I think that fucking asshole might come out and yell at me and say I didn't set the mower to the right setting and I cut it too short, or I didn't cut it low enough, or I cut too close to the bush. And I'm like, fuck him. I'm not gonna do it.
But if that person says something like that, then seriously, fuck them.
Right, but like,
if someone else mowed my yard, I'd be like,
sure,
wow, did you mow my yard?
But Jared, it's
like, oh man, that's
Jared,
great.
it's like the chicken story you told me the other day.
Oh yeah.
Like,
oh fuck,
people
that
don't
story's
appreciate
The fuck's the
things.
chicken story?
What's the chicken story?
People don't appreciate things.
I don't want
Greg
to tell
wants
like
to
a
hear a story.
depressing story. All right, I'll tell the story. To you guys
But
tomorrow.
like, no, this is good because you tried to do a huck deed
yeah, I know.
and
Make
it
it
didn't
funny.
work.
You
It
got
didn't work
fucked.
because people are assholes.
No, okay, I didn't get fucked that hard.
Try to be huck and you get fucked.
So I used to live down here, and there's a Popeyes around the corner, right? So I would go to Popeyes, on a semi-regular basis, even though I know it's terrible for me,
Popeye's chicken
but
is
it's
fucking
delicious.
awesome.
Yeah. So I would go. One day I was going to Popeyes, and there was a guy outside, and he asked me, he's like, "Hey man, can you get me like a breast or something? Like I'm really hungry." I'm like, "Absolutely, man." And so I go inside, and I was gonna get some kind of like a small meal, like a 2 or 3 piece or something like that. So I got like a 4 piece, and I come back out, and I hand it to him. I handed him like a, I don't know, I think like a drumstick or something like that.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, I thought you were gonna get me a breast."
Oh.
And I was like,
You should have dropped that shit on the ground.
"Well, no, I was like,
That's what I'd
Do
have
you-
done.
I'm sorry, man. Like, you said a breast or something. I just assumed like, I don't know if I don't think I was being an asshole. I was just like, hey, here's like one of the extra pieces of chicken that I got with what I was going to order anyway. Like, you know,
with the intention of giving it to you.
With the intention of giving it to you for free. You know, you know, because if someone asks me for food, I'll
absolutely
every
time.
Food.
Every time.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah, but
Wish you wouldn't have told me that story.
And he was so anyway, and I'm
you
like,
should have threw it on the ground. Like,
well, no,
oh my
to
god,
the ground.
Yeah, he was
like,
homeless. Nobody would have known. You could have killed him.
Do you not want it?
You could have missed him. Fuck! I hate this guy.
No, and I did get like instantly angry.
Oh my god.
But I was like, well, so do you not want it? He was like, no, all right, I'll take it. I was like, okay, well, you're welcome. Yeah. And he didn't say anything. I was like, okay. And like every time I see that guy, I'm like, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
When you see it, oh my god.
But every once in a while, I see him like around. But
when you see him reach into his little cup and pull some out,
Pull a piece of chicken out.
pull some fucking change out of his cup.
it's that like because that story's not in no way uplifting. I was like, okay,
What a dick.
No, it's terrible.
but also there's like a little bit of guilt, like as somebody who like I could have afforded to get him a breast, but he didn't say like, hey man, can you specifically get me a breast? Like that's what I want.
But he has no room to be so specific. It's
He's an
like,
asshole.
if you're gonna give me food and I am homeless, I should be grateful because I mean, for whatever reason.
Unless you're fucking deathly allergic to peanuts and someone's like, please get me anything without peanuts, and you come out with a bag of peanuts.
Yeah, that's fair.
After telling the person,
Yeah.
don't buy me peanuts.
Like, you go out with peanut butter smeared on your dick, and you're like, here. Then you could be like, no, man, fuck you. But what the hell? Seriously? You didn't give him the right kind of chicken?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Okay. Now I feel better about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Like, do not feel bad about that at all. You did the right thing. You did the Huck thing.
Right.
Like, you did a nice deed.
He said a breast or something.
course,
Like,
yeah.
he didn't say specifically. He was non-specific.
I want you to know that I'm trying to limit my fat intake, so anything beside a breast will not be suitable for consumption.
Also,
Thank you.
a leg. Let's be honest. A leg or a thigh is more delicious than a breast.
Way
And, like,
more.
by at least 10
magnitude.
times.
Way more.
Yeah.
Magnitude.
Tastes
Like
way
after
better.
the first like 3 bites of a breast, you're like, this is very
This
dry.
Yeah.
I don't like
It's fried. It's dry. It's like a fried chain fucking chicken breast. It's dry. It's gross. It's not gross, but it's
What did this guy
Not as
look
good.
like?
Let's
I
go
mean,
fucking pummel.
no.
Let's
no.
go talk to.
No.
Let's go and just...
No, that's not what Huck would do.
That's not what Huck would do. I'm
That's
not.
not what Huck
kidding.
would do.
Of course, I'm just kidding. Jesus Christ! It's like that dyke comment I used in jest one. You know.
Well, it's funny because somebody
What?
somebody said something about
The
that.
fuck are you
About
talking
me
about?
saying that?
Yes. Well,
What'd they say?
no. But they were jokingly saying that like said to me something like I just heard someone say the D word and I was like no but that was because we were like using that as an example as something an idiot would say and she was like I know I was just giving you a hard time so it wasn't.
No. That's
that was
like
just her
saying.
making
That's
me a
like
hard
saying. Oh, right. But I mean, I understand. But I just wanted to let you know.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, it's
They were just giving me a hard. They were just giving me a hard time.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah, no, yeah, it wasn't actually. They weren't actually offended.
Yeah.
But that would probably also be another thing that Huffington Post could use against
Yeah,
us.
because like just right now,
For sure.
there were about to be flames of fury that just came from every limb on my body as I torched this fucking microphone
Yeah.
with commentary.
Because I remember when
about
that happened, and I heard that word, I was like, "Ooh, where are you going with this?" And then, we were
Yeah, because we were talking about my new fucking haircut.
No,
you
we
know?
were talking about Chrononauts and like how they're
Yeah, but
douchebags.
we were talking like whenever I said that like fucking whatever and Dan
Right. Jaeger
like
bombs.
he got
Yeah,
it
yeah,
Jaeger
yeah.
bombs and
idiots who would say something like that.
yeah. Google or YouTube
My new
haircut.
Yeah. You're welcome.
You'll get it.
That
Jersey
dude
Shore.
who made that.
Yeah, that dude with the protein powder.
Yeah.
But
So we should talk about Huck again, probably.
yeah, we should probably talk more about Huck. Do some nice shit. Just and again, we are in December. This will come out before Christmas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 comes out I think it's supposed to come out next week.
I think you meant
Cool.
the podcast.
But I mean, yeah, this
Oh,
podcast will
okay.
come out before Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a really cool time, a perfect time, an opportune time
That's true.
to reach out and be like Huck in his, his
Unselfish.
heroic acts.
Although if you have superpowers like that, it's like, I mean, he is being extremely unselfish. But if everything is easy for you, like how do you go above and beyond? Like if I could do things like that, yeah, I would do that shit all the time. But it wouldn't be hard for me. Like what's hard?
Nothing's asking too much of you.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
So the only thing I can think of in the whole book that might, because we don't know anything about his like kind of monetary situation or whatever. It sounds
He works at a gas station.
Yeah,
presumably broke as piss.
He robs people all
yeah.
the time.
It
Yeah.
sounds shitty.
Maybe that's it.
Maybe it's super dark.
Maybe he robs
Something
people all the
going on
time.
here.
That's how he has
Maybe
all
he's
his
making
money.
up for like killing people or something.
Oh, yeah.
His troubled past.
It could get. I hope it doesn't get dark.
I hope
but
it doesn't
It
either.
will
I
not.
don't.
This
Yeah.
book will not get
I-
dark.
He's
I
a
don't
fish
think so.
person from Limbo.
The darkest part of this book. The darkest
Oh,
part of this
shit.
book will be
Crossover.
the media exposure
Yeah.
and how he's probably taken advantage of,
Yeah.
and then he, eventually like settles back into a small town. That's my prediction.
But on the other hand, like, what if it does get dark? Like, what if he has done something that was, because he was raised by what, like nuns? Like, what if he deviated from there, and he is trying to make up for something? That would make it a lot more interesting.
I can't see it. I can't see it happening.
I don't know.
Because I mean, the reason this book was written was to provide an uplifting answer to
Yeah.
Superman breaking someone's neck and killing on screen, which Superman doesn't kill really.
Sometimes he does. Well, actually, Zod is a person who he did kill. He has killed in the comic books. He's killed like I don't know, 3 or 4 people, and Zod is one of them. So I actually wasn't upset about that.
No, I wasn't either. I thought Zod deserved to die.
Yeah.
Sounds awesome in the movie.
he was
It was kinda awesome.
Zod was.
I was like, yeah.
trying to wipe out humanity.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he was not going to stop. And he told Superman, "I will not stop until this happens." So there's no like rehabilitation available.
Yeah.
It was okay. Well, you seriously crossed the line because you brought the world breakers down and you started smashing shit up.
You killed a lot of people.
A lot.
And actually, Batman's pretty angry about that.
He's
right
super
now.
angry.
And yeah, that's a lot of people had criticisms about Superman killing Zod, and
And all the death from the destruction of the buildings.
Well, yeah, and like that's not. I don't know. I'm not even sure about how I feel about that. I know it. They address it in the next, Batman versus Superman.
It's a major plot point.
Yeah, yes. Like Batman's pissed at Superman for that very reason, and I think that's a great call. Like they were like, okay, so a lot of people were really mad that Superman essentially wrecked half of Metropolis by destroying a bunch of buildings with people in them, and so we're gonna address that with Batman being like, hey man, do you know what the fuck you just did? Like you're a serious danger to anyone that you're around. I don't care how powerful you are. I don't care what your intentions are. Look what you fucking did.
You still did this.
Yeah, you just killed like 100,000 people.
Yeah, unless your superpowers also come with the superpowers of like mathematical statistical projections of what that person's death rate would be like 3 weeks out had I not just destroyed half of a city with buildings filled with people.
Yeah.
Unless you can substantiate that in some way, you are a fucking asshole.
Yeah, and
Like,
I'm gonna have
fuck you.
to take you down.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be
He hit you with a bat thing.
Yeah. I think in that new movie, it's going to be really easy to get on Batman's side.
Absolutely.
Because
Right, but until-
Superman killed a bunch of people.
But there's a point in the movie, and we see it in the trailer, where Alfred is like, "You're going to war with the wrong person,"
Yeah.
and like Alfred is like always the voice of reason.
And it's Jeremy Irons.
Right. So
How do you say no to Jeremy
I
Irons?
pick Alfred over everybody.
Yeah.
I'm on your side.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm gonna go ahead and say there has never been someone who is bad at playing Alfred. There's never been a
That
bad
is a
Alfred.
strange choice, though, Jeremy Irons. Because he's
no,
so,
but he's Scar.
right.
He is Scar.
He's Scar.
But
And
also, if Scar was a good guy, you would definitely listen to him.
yeah, but like, when was the last time you saw Jeremy Irons in a nice person role?
Lolita. No, I'm kidding.
Like Jesus Christ!
I'm still.
No, he's actually, and that's a bad example because in Lolita, he does kind of get the shits for a while. So
But I think I am gonna.
We know.
I think I am gonna like him in that role, though. I do.
Yeah.
But it's just so, like seeing him in that role for the first time. I'm like,
Well, I
oh,
think he's a good example in that. He's a good choice for that role because this Alfred is trying to convince Bruce Wayne, like, not to go down the dark path. Because Jeremy Irons' voice kind of implies like he has an evil voice.
He does.
His voice is like super evil. But he says something like, "You know the feeling, the rage, the anger, whatever it is." He says in the trailer. It's like, do you want to do this? This is not our enemy. Like it.
right. You want to go to war
when someone
with...
who sounds evil says like, "Hey man, take it easy,"
You're
like,
a good point.
maybe we should think this over.
Guys, just bringing us back to Huck. I was just looking at the calendar. We have a couple weeks before Christmas proper, and a couple weeks still to indulge all of these holidays. I feel like we should all, or I would like to propose that for the next podcast, we all have a Huck moment. A Huck moment where we go and do something.
Do something nice.
Something fucking nice for someone else.
Out of the
It's
ordinary
unsolicited, like out of the ordinary, not fucking holding a door, but like something that like may cost us a bit of time or a bit of effort that we hadn't anticipated. And yeah, we should have a Huck moment. When we come back together, while we do the shop talk, we'll like revisit like
Huck moment.
Huck moment. What's your Huck moment?
That's
What
a
was
good
your Huck
idea. I
moment?
like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
But I'm
I
not
like
gonna
it.
buy anybody chicken though.
No, don't. I don't make that shit. Don't even play.
I'm gonna tell you right now, that's a crapshoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta say, I didn't say it before, but similar to that, but with a slightly different ending. I was in Cleveland. It was actually Meltdown Mantic Ritual that I went to see. It was road tripped up there with a couple of people, but we were at Peabody's, which is not, it's something else now. And I was up in the green room and they had a bunch of these personal pan pizzas. We were just hanging out between bands. Anyway, no, listen. So between bands, we were down. I never saw like as many forthright, whatever you call them, bums, hobos. So, I mean, I don't know, homeless people, people asking for panhandles, whatever. But yeah, as we were like unloading the car, they were there. And anyway, between bands, I stepped outside for a minute, whatever street that was, and a guy
we know that street.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I'm
you were at
surprised
Peabody's.
you haven't told us the story because we played
Yeah, we played that
at Peabody. That's where we
Opened
played
for
with Sebastian Bach. Yeah.
So I didn't tell you the story?
No.
No. Okay.
It's weird.
So I was outside there, and Ben was outside there too, and there was this guy that looked a lot like the guy that we just talked to outside a minute ago, and he said, "Yeah, well, whatever." He was trying to make small talk, and he said, "Yeah, you know what I'd really like is," he said, "it'd be really great to have some money to have something to eat. You know, I'd really like to be able to buy something to eat." And I said, "Oh, hey man, I'll tell you what, I'll hook you up. Listen, just stay right here. I'll be back here in 60 seconds. Just wait right here."
Did you go to that pizza place?
No. So I walked inside. I ran upstairs to the green room, grabbed one of the personal pan pizzas because there were a bunch of them there because there were like 4 bands playing.
Yeah.
I grabbed one and I knew what this guy was all about,
Right.
but I grabbed one of those things anyway. And I ran downstairs because I didn't want him to walk away and get impatient. So I ran downstairs and I just calmly walked outside. And I said, "Hey, buddy," and like as if I was doing him a big favor, which I, like for what he was asking, I did him a favor. I said, "Hey, man, I pulled through for you. Like pulled some strings. Here you go. It's a pizza. Like this. There's some pepperoni. You can pull it off if you want to. I don't know. Whatever. I don't care." And he looked at it. He looked up at me and he said, "Well, what I really need is some money for the bus." And I said, "Oh, well, I can't help you with everything now, can I?" And I took it back and walked away.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah. You did that like I would have done it. Except for I would
Like a boss.
Yeah. Except I would have threw it on his face.
Well, in that case, fuck you, sir.
Yeah. Well, in that case, you better get the fuck out of here.
And that is why the Huck moment challenge that Dan proposed is going to be tricky.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough for me and
people are
Greg.
dicks. People are not grateful.
No, it's not about the gratitude.
Yeah, you don't need the
The point is
gratitude.
not the gratitude. The point is doing it. The
Yeah.
point is doing it without needing the gratitude. And even if your kind deed is received with somebody being like, fuck that motherfucker, that being not a reflection of them or of you,
Well,
but
right,
of like
right.
their, like, whatever they're expressing. It's an expression of like a margin of whatever they're
Like-
fucking experiencing internally.
You did the right thing, but they didn't accept it. So that doesn't make your efforts insignificant. But still, like,
Not even necessarily that they didn't accept it, that they couldn't. Like in this, whatever, like I have this belief that whatever someone is expressing externally, you have these fucking maniacs on the street like beeping horns and ready to get out of cars and fucking like start a fight, or this person who, you hold the door for at the get-go and they just walk right out and they don't say fucking thanks, and you want to be like, hey dickhead, you're welcome. Like however slighted you feel, what they're experiencing internally is exponentially fucking greater than that marginal, brief, like annoyance you feel with them. And to look at them and be like, hey dickhead, I just did this nice thing for you and you can't even fucking say thank you, you ingrate, you cunt, you piece of shit. Like, all you would do would be validating exactly however it is they already feel about themselves.
Yeah.
that's a lesson I need to learn, because I look at people like that who do not say thank you or express gratitude in that type of moment, like basic manners.
Yeah.
Right.
I look at them and I think, like, I need to teach you a fucking lesson.
Right,
Yeah.
like we're the fucking world's dad.
Like, I need to point out that you're a dick, so
Yeah.
maybe you will remember next time that somebody called you on the carpet for being a fucking asshole,
Yeah.
and you won't be an asshole next time.
Yeah.
But maybe you're right. Maybe I should just not even waste my time and energy.
Yeah.
But will they remember that from someone who responded to their inconsideration and their ignorance
With aggression.
or with this like violence that they're probably used to having exerted on them, or at least exerting on themselves? Or will they remember that? I mean, because that's commonplace, right? For somebody who is in this position to fucking like disregard kindness, or to look at kindness and fucking shit on it, like chances are they've probably been subjected to violence a lot. But
Well-
for what would be the exception would be for someone to hold that door for them and they walk through without consideration, with this fucking
Arrogance.
whatever, this arrogance, and you just walk away and you let the
Yeah.
door close behind you.
Well, the way I look at it is that if you do that enough times, maybe some of those people are going to walk through and not even think about it. Like, they're just going to be a dick, and like, because they maybe they're put upon, they have a lot of stuff in their mind, whatever. But like, if you do it every single time, then someone's going to be like, so, it might be that moment where someone's like just on the cusp, and they go, oh hey, thanks, and you look them in the eye and you're like, yeah, okay, and then you both walk out and like that's like the perfect.
You're saying not to call them out.
Right, yeah, you don't call
Right.
them out, like you do it because it's a nice thing to do. And if it's not reciprocated, then fine, whatever. You still did the nice thing. But if someone like you might be lucky enough. This is like a really hopeful statement. If you're lucky enough to be at that moment where someone, like finally, like it might be a turning point, like it sends them over the edge where they're like, wow, that was really nice of that person. They're like, thanks, man. You go like, yeah, hey, no problem. That's the best possible, and that's what you hope for. If it doesn't happen, then whatever. Someone just like walks out. Cool.
Thumbs
but
up
like,
all around.
Yeah. Like you personally didn't do the wrong thing, but if someone goes like, hey, thanks, you're like, you're welcome.
There's a third scenario also is if they like one they could say thank you and you say yeah no problem and that turns out well, or they you know nothing happens and you just keep going on your way and but rather but if you call them out for being a dick, like you open the door and then they don't say anything on the way past and you're like, hey, you bitch, and you like tell them what a worthless piece of trash they are. But like, what if they were just like lost in thought because they just found out that they're, that they have cancer and like they just weren't thinking about it on the way out the door. Like they just weren't thinking about it, and then someone just called them a piece of trash, and you're like, oh god.
No,
which is why you shouldn't.
A brilliant point, because I have done that. Because I definitely have held the door, and there were some young kids who came through, and I'm like, yeah, hey, no problem, bro, no problem, buddy.
Hey, yeah.
And the dude turns around like, yeah, thanks, man, thanks. And I'm like, maybe that's what it was. Maybe they just found out like some really shitty thing happened, and they just in a whatever, in a blur, in a fog, walk through the door. It was
maybe
open.
those kids' parents just died.
Right. And I'm there like, hey, bro, you want to pay attention to me? I just held this fucking door for you and delayed my day by 1/2 of 1 second by thinking about you. And now you owe me the consideration of gratitude. And if you don't see that, it's like,
that was my good deed for the day. That was my good deed, and you made me waste it.
That was my fucking Huck moment. And you're a cunt. And you fucking say thank you before you get that Slim Jim. I swear to God, I'll suplex your jaw into the ground. Like, no, man. It's like, bro, I feel you. I've been there. Like, the depths that you're at, probably I've been there too.
Yeah.
And like, we've been in these dark places, and while we might not express them the same way, like, I'm part of this too.
Yeah.
And I love you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I love you like, like a human. Like, we're all part of this weird fucking thing that we call
I think maybe
humans.
I think maybe we
human beings.
Maybe we just figured out how to act all the time.
Right. But the problem is, I'm having bullet bourbon frontier whiskey in Heaven Hill to make me a bit sentimental, and a bit chilled out. And well, I hope that from this point on, like, I can just be so loving and considerate. But chances are, I'm gonna say to some dude, "Hey, bro, I just fucking held the door for you, and you got your fucking Doritos and Mountain Dew." I'll probably do that again.
Yeah, we should all strive to be more considerate, like Alex over at Pizzarella. He's
Who got us?
It's upstanding young man.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's 1302
Delicious.
1302 East Carson Street.
South Side.
Some of the most delicious pizza. I'd say the most delicious pizza on the South Side.
Yeah.
Yeah. But really,
Absolutely.
that like, maybe we should all do something with no expectation. And you know what? As much as I appreciate the idea of doing a Huck moment, I think it would defeat the purpose if we were going to come on here and like say what our Huck moment is.
Mm.
Like if we just do it, just to do it, that's the most important. Because Huck wouldn't say like, "Hey guys, guess what I did last night?" Like, no, he would just do it, and then
maybe we can just talk about our experience of the Huck moment. Did we do it? Did you do it? Did you set up a Huck moment and accomplish it? Yeah. How'd you feel afterwards? Pretty good, man. Better than I felt a minute before that.
I guess. I just.
I'm talking about accountability, man.
Yeah.
I'm just like, let's do this and let's hold each other accountable for like doing something nice.
Okay.
Because Huck was raised by nuns. We weren't. We were raised in dysfunctional families.
Well,
And now we have to we have to hold each other accountable. No, I actually don't know if everyone was raised in dysfunctional families at this table. But I mean, if you weren't raised in dysfunctional family, either A, you were part of a sitcom in the 70s, or B, you're lying. So no, man, let's just check back in and be like, yo, did you have your Huck moment? Yeah, it was cool. I did it before Christmas. I did it after Christmas. Because I shit the
All right.
bed.
So for accountability, not to give details, just
Yeah. So I had it. It was cool.
yeah. All right. Yeah.
It made my holiday season not much better.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd like to think that we can all do something that's. It shouldn't require us to, be here, and like, it should be like a prerogative.
But sometimes, like, you just get caught up in day-to-day things, and you don't actually carry out that Huck moment you think of.
Yeah.
Like, I can personally think of one that I said I was going to do like 2 weeks ago, and I still have taken 0 actions towards accomplishing it.
That's your fucking thing,
and now,
Dan.
like, this prompts me to actually do it.
Yeah.
Just because, like, not because I want to say what it is. It was just I want to do it. I wanted to do it. I just haven't gotten around to doing
Do
it.
that thing, dude.
Yeah.
You got like 2 weeks before, maybe 3, because we got the holidays coming up.
Yeah.
Do that thing, whatever it is. Fucking do it, man.
Yeah.
And like, I'm gonna find my thing. I was already planning on doing this one thing for the holidays, but I'm gonna do something in addition to it, because I feel like it's a cop out to just take this one thing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do an additional thing. We should all, man.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. Yeah. Well, yeah. I like that.
Yeah. Let's everybody be more like Huck. Come into Southside Comics, buy Huck, read that shit. Be more like that dude. If you're more like Huck 1 day a week, you're making the world a better place. Absolutely.
It is a really uplifting comic.
It could be as simple as, taking someone's trash, or it could be as complex as doing mushrooms and making a bunch of toys overnight. That could, because that's
Either one.
Yeah.
And for all you movie buffs out there, Huck was picked up, and Mark Miller wants Rihanna to play the female lead.
What?
I don't know why.
Why? Yeah. What?
I don't know why.
Is she an actress?
I don't know what to say about that, but okay.
Maybe her boyfriend can play Huck.
I don't know.
What's his name?
I don't
Wait.
know.
Oh God, that's not funny, Dan. Jesus Christ, that's not
Why?
funny.
Why?
Who's her boyfriend?
I don't know.
What's his name?
Chris something.
Oh, Chris Brown.
Chris Brown.
Brown,
Oh my
yeah.
God.
Oh,
Fucking
no.
No, he should.
asshole.
He
He's
should.
the biggest piece of shit ever. He's
Yeah.
like the anti-Huck.
Fuck him.
Fuck
No,
that guy.
he had
He's
to
the
play.
worst.
I
Yeah.
challenge Chris Brown openly to a wrestling or boxing or wrestling and boxing duel wherever on the world stage, Tokyo, Times Square, fucking wherever. I challenge you, Chris Brown. You
will
twinkie
get your
fuck.
fucking ass kicked.
Yeah, you
Actually-
will get your ass kicked 1,000 times.
Or alternatively, I challenge Chris Brown to play the Boko Haram leader in that movie.
Yes.
Instead of.
Douche.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be
Just
good.
take your glasses off before you get your fucking face knocked out.
Oh, I'm not as considerate as Huck. I will definitely fucking crush you with your glasses on.
Yeah.
Fuck that dude. Chris Brown, this is a call out, man.
Yeah, piece
If
of
you hear
shit.
this shit, wherever. Manhattan, fucking Pittsburgh, fucking Boko Haram, wherever it is. Tokyo. I just need plane fare, that's all. Airfare.
But-
New
but-
York, business class.
In all fairness to like Mark Miller movies, The Kingsman, was that the last one? That was really
which one?
good. The Kingsman?
I didn't watch it. I didn't see it.
Holy shit, is it good?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's on HBO Go.
I heard it was good.
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I heard the comic was good too. I never read it.
Yeah, it's also very good.
Yeah.
So I would think that this could be pretty good.
Okay. So
Guys, this has been a fucking treat.
do we want to?
I almost got emotional at the end there.
We didn't touch base on this other.
Almost?
But we still need to.
Can't wait to see what those emotions are.
We need to cover the
Yeah, we
last-
didn't.
Paper Girls
We didn't have our
follow-up.
Paper Girls
Wait,
check
Paper
in.
Girls.
Paper Girls, yeah. It's really
Wow.
It's getting
let's-
better.
Wow.
this-
It's good.
it's fucking tastic. Yeah. So we're going to do our second follow up on Paper Girls. It is. We talked about it before.
3 issues in.
Yeah, we're 3 issues in. This is my favorite comic that we've talked about. Like, this is my personal favorite, because Dan, you said that your personal favorite was Twilight Children.
Twilight for overall.
For me, Paper Girls is my personal favorite. Like,
Yeah, me too.
It is just
Paper Girls is a
Holy-
close second, for
yeah,
sure.
Holy shit, it's so fucking good.
Yeah.
Every issue, I can't believe how surprised I am.
I know, because things
like a-
just get so much weirder
Yeah,
every issue.
yeah,
And
and not in the way that Twilight Children does, where I'm like, I don't know what's going on.
right, you know what's going on.
Yeah, this is a like I don't know. I'm more interested when like a crazy thing happens. It's more like an episodic thing.
Dude, in the last issue where that like crazy warlord alien guy showed up, that was awesome.
Yeah.
And then at the end, those dudes shot him, and then they revealed their identity, and you're like,
What? I was mad at them for a second, but now I'm not. And I don't know what's going on.
They're
Are
so
you-
great.
Are you guys realizing? Like, I'm
No,
just
no,
seeing
that's her
on the
knee.
cover.
That's her knee. Her knee is scraped up.
Is that what it is? It's
Yeah.
not the blood.
I thought the
Look at
same
below the
thing.
drawing.
I thought the
That's
same
kind of a
thing.
stupid thing to do. I don't know why I did that.
No. It's not a stupid thing because it's right in front of, like,
Yeah.
it is indicative of what happens, but it's not like obvious. If you look at the drawing, it's not obvious.
It's not like forecasting.
Right,
Or,
exactly.
or yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's incredible though. The art in this continues to convey whatever feeling that is very effectively. This feeling of like an 80s movie,
Yeah.
this 80s horror sci-fi.
I can see an 80s movie that has like mostly practical effects.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like that would totally work in
Yeah.
this, you know, like
For sure.
this is a movie that you it's like a movie that you've seen before, but you just haven't seen that movie
Mhm.
yet. It's just fucking fantastic.
Paper Girls, read it, do yourself a favor. And if you have young-ish girls around you, pass it on to them, because these are incredible characters that are worthwhile emulating as a like preteen girl.
They're,
Tough, but like still compassionate, and
Yeah.
it's neat. I really dig it.
Yeah, there's some cursing in, but I mean, I think it's
Nothing they don't hear at
But come
school.
on, if you're fucking hung up about cursing, like get off it. Holy shit. We're talking about words here. Like, maybe they
Spend
said the
1 minute in a high school hallway,
right,
and you will
middle
hear
school.
some terrible things.
I mean, I was well familiar with curse words as of
Yeah, and also
6.
Dan was an the other Dan was an
Oh yeah,
educator.
Dan's an educator.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
and
might have heard of
I heard
fuck
all
word in his
kinds of
life.
things.
Yeah.
The best one is when like I would call out like a like really proper type student for saying something, and they'd be like, "Oh, I didn't say that. What the fuck? You think I'm deaf? I can hear you. I don't really care that much that you said it. Just be respectful of everybody else and don't say it again, and don't lie about it.
And acknowledge it. Stand up here and say,
Yeah,
yes,
I'm sorry.
Yes, I said that shit And you know what? I'm fucked up about it, Mr. D. Because that shit went down in a moment of emotion. And sometimes it's hard to respect and have emotions simultaneously.
This alien fucking warlord came down on the football field and
this
zapped the
dude's like-
fuck out of the girl that I liked and fuck. Okay, man, you got a point.
He said, "Breakers." I was like, "Fuck you, alien."
Well, in that case, I excuse her language. That's
I
understandable.
understand.
Like, fair enough.
I understand.
Yeah, I think the bottom line is for the Check-In and Paper Girls.
Check this
keep,
book out.
Keep reading it. Get all the issues. It's fucking fantastic.
It's great.
You
It's
shan't
fun.
be disappointed.
It is
Yeah.
fun.
And I think we should stop here because we have something else to talk about.
Wait, what are we talking about? Oh no, I can't even talk about this shit because you know what? I watched one fucking episode and I decided I'm out. Fuck this. It was an
Take a
abusive
break.
relationship that I saw early
Before we start
on.
about this.
I saw it into the future and I said, no, this is only going to get worse.
Lots of you have been waiting.
He's
for
David-
this.
only going to get more abusive and continue to hurt me. Gotham, fuck you. I'm out.
This is the Gotham special.
Worst.
I
Yeah.
challenge Chris Brown openly to a wrestling or boxing or wrestling and boxing duel wherever.